Hello, hockey fans. We've seen some great rivalries over the past few years in the Heritage Junior Hockey League, but tonight we have one of the best as the Medicine Hat Cubs host the Coaldale Copperheads at the Kinplex. The Cubs have been snake-bitten lately, losing their last two, but they will look to maul the Copperheads, who have won 2 in a row. Good evening, everyone. I'm Braden Malsbury. Joining me in the broadcast booth tonight is Ryan Flaherty of Chat TV. And we have to mention this broadcast made possible by the Beefeater Steakhouse, Autos Are Less, and the Medicine Hat Lodge, where you can enter to win 2 nights accommodation almost ready to go. Here at the Kinplex, we will have the national anthem for you shortly. And of course, Ryan, we've seen these two teams who made it up last year in the playoffs, and it was a physical affair.
Absolutely. There's no love lost between these two teams. It should be a good one tonight.
And it appears starting tonight in goal for the Medicine Hat Cubs is Cole Schaefer. It will be Austin Gallipo up on the back end, Gabe LaRochelle. And we are almost ready here for the national anthem as we get set for this hockey game.
And the starting lineup for your Medicine Hat Cubs, starting at center, number 21, Ben Fury. On defense, number 2, Austin Gallipo. At left wing, number 13, Gabe LaRochelle. On right wing, number 6, Sean McGuire. On defense, number 26, Tanner Mayer. And starting in goal, Mr. Cole Schaefer, number 35. Ladies and gentlemen, this time get you to stand and remove your headgear, enjoying Randy Fury in the singing of our national anthem.
So almost ready for some great action here tonight at the Kinplex between the Medicine Hat Cubs and the Coaldale Copperheads. And Ryan, some players back in the lineup here tonight for the Medicine Hat Cubs. Kyle Funk, he's been serving a suspension, but he is back, and no doubt he'll be ready to go tonight. He provides a lot of speed and a lot of offense.
Absolutely. Kyle Funk, only 8 games played so far this season, but 16 points in those 8 games, including 7 goals. So obviously a major scoring weapon for this team, and they are definitely glad to have him back in the lineup tonight.
So lining up at the center faceoff dot for the Medicine Hat Cubs, it will be the veteran Ben Fury going toe-to-toe with the captain, Colby Murray of the Coaldale Copperheads. Fury wins the draw. It goes to the bench area, and the Coaldale Copperheads is going to chip it down. It's Austin Gallipo behind the net of Cole Schaefer, who's starting once again for this Cubs hockey squad. The puck in Cubs territory as Gallipo makes a hit, and the LaRochelle has it at the Coaldale Copperheads blue line. But the Coaldale Copperheads flip it to center, the Cubs electing to shoot it all the way down, and it goes out of play, and we will have a whistle. And Ryan, heading into this hockey game, I was thinking that possibly we could see a couple of scraps tonight.
Would not be a surprise. Let's just put it that way. As mentioned before the game, these two teams don't like each other much, and it doesn't take much to get the sparks flying.
As Florkowski loses a draw and draws off with the puck, he threw it in. The Cubs chip it back to center as Cole Schaefer comes out of his net to set it up for defenseman Austin Gallipo. Gallipo looking for a pass up the center ice, but it is good enough for icing, so we will have another face-off deep in Cubs territory.
Bit of a slow start there, but definitely expecting a few goals tonight. There's been plenty scored in the two games between these two teams, one in exhibition and one in regular season play so far this year. The Cubs winning 7-2 back in September.
The Cubs fighting for possession. Kyle Funk, he threw it to center. It's not going to be good enough for icing as Wenham comes and he's going to hang on and cover it up. I think the referee wanted him to play it a little bit as he had a lot of time and space, Ryan.
Well, you know, at least we know the referee's whistles work so far today. They're maybe just testing him out a little bit there.
And I see the ref having a chat with the Coaldale Copperheads goaltender, rather, as Cody Florkowski wins the draw, but it was the Copperheads coming away with it at center and into Cubs territory now. It's Holden Lamb, and he takes a hit, and Cody Florkowski ships it up to the half wall for Kyle Funk. Kyle Funk looking for the long stretch pass. He finds Keegan Bartram, who dishes back to Funk. Funk walks in, he shoots it, hits a skate, and goes behind the net of Wenham. Puck comes to center, and now fighting for possession at the Coaldale Copperheads bench, it was Colby Sadler, as the Copperheads come away with it out of their own zone. And they will ship it into Cubs territory, and that is not going to be good enough for icing as Colby Sadler comes out of his own zone. Sadler with a lot of time and room ships it up to Kyler Goldade. Goldade was looking for the cross-ice pass. Brandon Stahl in Copperheads territory had the puck, and he dished it back for Cole Stevenson. And Stevenson centers for Stahl, who fanned on the shot. Puck at the point for Sadler. Sadler throws it up to the half wall. A number of guys fighting for possession. Kyler Goldade in there. And Cole Stevenson came in for the hit, but he was not able to pick up the puck as the Coaldale Copperheads going to flip it off the mesh, and that is going to be another whistle with just 17:56 left in the first. Still scoreless.
Nice chance there in front of the net. Unfortunately, flashing on the chance in front, but some nice passing early on here by the Cubs.
Stevenson lining up with Ethan Hendricks to the right of Wenham. The Copperheads win the draw. It's kept in at the point by Tanner Mayer, who is pinching. Ethan Hendricks going to ring it around the boards. At the half wall was Murray. Took a big hit from Gallipo as Wenham is going to hang on. And Austin Gallipo, we've seen it all season long, not afraid to use his body as he absolutely pasted Riley Smith.
Maybe a bit of a Backstreet Boys fan. Everybody rock your body. Austin Gallipo definitely doing a lot of that this season.
Face off to the left of goaltender Daniel Wenham. Taking the draw for the Medicine Hat Cubs, it was Kyle Florkowski who has the puck in the corner. He is going to ship it up there, and it's Cam Stock pinching in the slot. He shoots. Puck goes behind the net of Wenham. Kyle Florkowski with the puck at the left half wall. Centering there. No one was available. It was broken up by Whitbeck. As the Copperheads going to try and get it out of their own zone. Some great pressure by the Medicine Hat Cubs early in this hockey game as Brendan Androzov ships it up to Holden Lamb. And the Copperheads will throw it all the way down the ice. It's not going to be good enough for icing as Kyle Florkowski could not pick up the puck at his own blue line. And we will have a whistle here, as I believe that was offside, as the referee kind of looked at a few players, Cam Stock in particular. Maybe he thought he was getting a penalty, but the referee letting him play tonight.
No, offside there, but a bit of a late signal from the official there, and I think that led to some confusion deep in the Cubs' end, but no penalties on that play, and we're ready for a face-off outside the Cubs' blue line.
As Ferry wins it back to the point for Tanner Mayer. He's going to dish it up to the half wall for Brandon Stahl. He blows a tire. The Copperheads with the puck at center. It's number 6, Craig Lyon, looking for the pass out front, broken up by Gabriel Rochelle. The Copperheads pick it up once again. Murray fires, and the Copperheads score. Craig Lyon, Johnny on the spot, and he bangs it past Cole Schaefer as the Coaldale Copperheads jump out to the 1-0 lead.
Funny how that happens. Cubs with some good early pressure, and Cole Schaefer not seeing any action until those first two shots, and he just couldn't quite corral the rebound there. And Craig Lyon being the top scorer for the Copperheads coming into this game. That is now his 14th goal on the season. Like you said, Johnny on the spot, and he does what he's been doing so well so far and gets the Copperheads out to the early lead.
And it was the official scoring summary. It was Craig Lyon. 2:21 into this hockey game. as the Cubs trying to get something going. Florkowski was centering for Funk. He cannot pull the trigger. Florkowski and Funk buzzing. Funk the backhand, but Wenham comes up big with the save as Kyle Funk cut out front with some great speed, and he's looking dangerous early in his return.
Good response there from the Cubs. Good shift after a goal and a chance in front of the Copperheads net. Kyle Funk, as we mentioned at the top of the game, a valuable offensive weapon for the Cubs, and he shows right there why he's so dangerous.
And a big save by Wenham, a face-off to his right now. It's Cody Florkowski lining up with Clayton Tilleman. Florkowski wins the draw. The Cubs keep it in as Weisgerber threw a shot to the net, and it's redirected in the corner. The Cubs with the puck now. Funk centering for Bartram, and a save by Wenham. Keegan Bartram with a great opportunity as Sadler keeps it in Coaldale's territory as Keegan Bartram with the puck, flips it behind the net of Wenham. Funk in the slot, he shoots, and Wenham comes up big as he had Keegan Bartram and Cody Florkowski knocking at the door, but Wenham absolutely denies them.
Kyle Funk there just couldn't quite corral the puck for the one-timer, and that just gave the goaltender just enough time to get over and make the save, but some more great pressure by the Cubs. They just haven't been able to get the puck behind the into the Copperheads net so far.
As Florkowski loses the draw, it goes all the way into Cubs territory. Cole Schaefer is going to come out of his net, plays it off the half wall, and the Coaldale Copperheads are just going to be a shade offside. So we will have to have another face-off with 15:40 left here in the first period, and despite the Cubs trailing 1-0, Ryan, they have had a number of great scoring chances early.
They're looking good with the passing is sharp, it's crisp, they're getting some good scoring chances, and you got to think if they keep this pressure up, it is only a matter of time before they put one behind Wenham.
As the Copperheads throw it into Cubs territory, Schaefer out of his net to set it up for Kyle Grant. He got it to the half wall, and now it's Cole Stevenson, and he has Dorian Bernhardt, or actually Kyler Goldade in the corner. Goldade going to throw it back to the point for Cam Stock. He was not there. Puck now in Cubs territory. Schaefer, the goaltender, going to play it off the half wall. It goes to center. Kyler Goldade is picking it up. Looking cross ice. Brandon Stahl cannot get to it. The Cubs going to have to tag up, or that would have been offside as the Copperheads come out of their own zone. Brandon Piper throws it to center. Gallipo cannot get a handle on it. It goes deep into Cubs territory as Tanner Mayer swats at it. Austin Gallipo with another big hit. It's broken up in the slot, and the Cubs are going to come away with it. It's Kyler Goldade. He's got Brandon Stahl. Almost a 3-on-2. Goldade lost control of the puck in the corner. Cole Stevenson going after it, and Stahl able to get a shot, but it hits a body out front in front of the Coaldale goaltender, Wenham. The Coaldale Copperheads scrambling a bit in their own zone, trying to get it out of their own zone as the Cubs looking dangerous here in the early stages despite trailing this hockey game by a count of 1-0. It's the Copperheads chasing after it. Tyler Van Varenberg, but he has the puck now behind of Cole Schaefer as Van Varenberg is pasted as Tanner Mayer got the body on him. Puck now at the left half wall in Cubs territory. Austin Gallipo, he finds Mitch Heller. Heller now at center. He's going to dish it off, and it is going to be Dorian Bernhardt. He could not get a shot away, kind of lost control of it as they fight for control deep in Copperhead's territory. Coaldale electing to throw it all the way down the ice, and that is going to be another icing call with 13:46 left here in the first. The Cubs down 1-0.
Hectic pace to open this game for sure. These two teams definitely ready for action tonight and not taking any time to get right into the thick of things. And so far the Cubs carrying the balance of play, but unfortunately trailing by a goal.
Whitbeck wins the draw for the Coaldale Copperheads as they will try and come out of their own zone, but it's broken up by Kyle Florkowski behind the net of Wenham. Florkowski creating some problems for the Coaldale Copperheads, and it's kept in at the point by Grant. He shoots to not get all of it. The Copperheads come away with it. A 3-on-2. Alex Barthel threw it back to Androsov, who threw it into Cubs territory as the Cubs trying to get something going, down 1-0 early in this hockey game here tonight at the Kinplex. A big rivalry, and we will have our first penalty of the game, going to be a cross-checking minor And it appears it is going to be going to the Medicine Hat Cubs.
Well, not the start they wanted. Gave up an early goal, and despite having some good chances on net, now they're going to have to kill a penalty as the cross-check is made, and 2 minutes or less going to be served in the box by Dorian Bernhardt.
So face-off to the left of goaltender Cole Schaefer lining up for the Cubs. It is Ben Fury. He wins it cleanly, and Austin Gallipo throws it all the way down the ice. Chasing after it is Sean McGuire. But it is Holden Lamb who dishes it over there for Houston Boschy. Boschy going to throw it back to center for Craig Lyon, who has a goal here tonight. The Copperheads on the power play. The Cubs trying to kill it off. 1:38 left in the PK for the Medicine Hat Cubs. As the Coaldale Copperheads keep it into Cubs territory, it's Colby Murray in the corner. A little give and go there for Lyon. Goes back to the point for Lamb, who fires, and it sails wide of the net as Ben Fury throws it off the wall, and that is going to kill some time on this penalty kill situation. The Copperheads trying to get something going. They want to go up 2-0 as Colby Murray fires, sails wide of the net once again. Jay Hollingsworth, he's going to dish it. Little give and go with Colby Murray. Playing a little pass here as Craig Lyon has the puck at the blue line. Goes to Boschy. He shoots, sails wide, comes right to Cole Schaefer. And he is going to hang on with 51 seconds left in this Medicine Hat Cubs penalty kill situation.
Well, Cubs doing a good job in their D zone on this penalty kill, closing off the space of the Copperheads players. That was the first shot on this power play over a minute in. They need to keep that up if they want to kill the rest of this minor off.
As Florkowski loses the draw, and it's Androsov firing. Goes wide of the net, and it's the Cubs doing a great job on this penalty kill as Gabe LaRochelle chases after it into Coaldale Copperheads territory. LaRochelle in the corner. He's got two Coaldale players on him, and Cole Stevenson almost picked up the puck just outside of the Coaldale blue line, but the Cubs with some great pressure on this penalty kill as they wind the clock down. Only 20 seconds left on the penalty kill for Medicine Hat as Schaefer came out of his net, but it was Kyle Grant playing it, and it goes back to the point for McKenzie, who fired. Schaefer made a save as Barthel lost control. The Copperheads keep it in, and Schaefer swats away at it. The puck came right to him, and that is going to do it. Back to 5-on-5 here at the Kinplex, as Dorian Bernhardt could have almost been sprung on the breakaway, just came right out of the penalty box.
Yeah, Bernhardt just missing on that clearing play. I don't think that was a pass, but almost connected and could have been a great scoring chance there. But the key there, Medicine Hat killing off the penalty and back to even strength.
As Hendricks wins the draw, but it's Austin Gallipo with it now, starting out of his own zone. Austin Gallipo looking for the long pass, but it was broken up by Houston Boschy. Schaefer out of his net, plays it off the wall. Puck just outside of Cubs territory. Tyler Van Varenberg. He goes back to Keegan Youngpine. Back to Houston Boschy. Youngpine. Back to Boschy. Houston Boschy coming out of his own zone. He's at center now. Going to skate into Cubs territory. He fires. Schaefer going to make the easy save and hang on with 10:37 left here in the first period. The Copperheads still leading this contest by a count of 1-0. So a face-off now to the left of the goaltender Cole Schaefer in Cubs territory. Florkowski, he loses the draw. The Copperhead shooting, but it sails wide of the net and goes behind the net on the mesh, and the referee electing to blow the whistle as I think the net actually came off as well. So we will do this all over again. And Ryan, as I mentioned before, the Cubs, although they're trailing this hockey game, I'd say they've had the better scoring chances so far.
Definitely carrying the balance of play, even though they had a penalty to kill, and now it'll be up to them to regain some of that momentum that they had before they were sitting in the box.
It's the Copperheads firing here, and it was Riley Smith looking for the wraparound, but he cannot pull the trigger. Puck now at center. It's Keegan Bartram dancing into the Coaldale territory. Kyle Funk sniffing at the side of that as Wenham came out, and he hangs on because he had Kyle Funk there, and he was looking very dangerous once again as we have some pushing and shoving as Cody Florkowski took a cross check to the throat Brandon Piper laying the lumber on him.
Big surprise there. Cody Florkowski getting under the Copperhead skin. The Cubs captain always getting in there, being a bit of an agitator, and also made a great defensive play just to prevent the wraparound chance just a few seconds ago.
It's Ty McKenzie. He takes a hit. Kyler Goldade was looking for the puck, goes back to center for Colby Sadler with some speed. He had a Coaldale player on him, and it is Clayton Tillman laying the body. The Cubs with the puck in Coaldale's zone. Puck now in the right corner. Coaldale trying to get it out of their own territory, but Brandon Stahl with a lot of pressure along with Kyler Goldade. Goldade centering there. Pass was not available. Grant shoots and Wenham kicks it out. And the puck goes back to him, and I believe he's going to hang on. He's got it with his trapper, or actually blocker, looking like Dominic Hasek there back in the day.
Yeah, why use a glove when you can just drop the stick and grab it with your blocker hand? Looking pretty good. Wenham is in the Copperhead's net so far. Very active with the stick. Likes to use the goal stick to make a lot of saves and send some of those rebounds into the corners, and he did a good job there to keep the Cubs off the board.
Face-off to the right of Wenham is won by the Coaldale Copperheads. It's Jay Hollingsworth throwing it to center for Lyon, who drops it off for Androsov, shoots, and Schaefer comes up with the save. Puck bouncing in his crease. He cannot get a handle on it as the Copperheads. Hollingsworth fires. The Coaldale Copperheads with all sorts of pressure here, looking for their second goal of this game as they already lead 1-0. As Keegan Youngpine has the biscuit in his own zone. He's going to go over to Brendan Androsov, back to Youngpine, who finds Jay Hollingsworth. It's broken up by the Cubs. Mitch Heller, but the Copperheads pick it up once again. Number of bodies in there. It's Florkowski firing off the linesman, so it bounces back into the neutral ice territory, and it's Lyon firing, but it's broken up by Florkowski. He shoots Wenham, makes the easy stick save, steers it in the corner. As the Medicine Hat Cubs, another scoring chance, but they cannot convert as Florkowski cannot get a handle on it. Lyon's going to flip it out to center. And the Medicine Hat Cubs going to be making a wholesale change here shortly as Schaefer comes out of his net. He's going to set it up for Austin Gallipo. Gallipo with some speed, the defenseman. He's looking good here this season. Dances in, shoots. Hits a stick and sails wide, and Austin Gallipo not afraid to go for a little rush when he's got the open ice.
You betcha. Austin Gallipo got plenty of offense from the back end. 6 goals coming into action tonight along with 10 helpers, and he showed some of his skill there as he walked around a couple of different Coaldale players on his rush up the ice, and only thing missing there was the finish.
Ben Fury lining up to the right of Daniel Wenham. It's Clayton Tillman winning the draw for the Coaldale Copperheads. It's Alex Barthel with it. He's going to dish it off for Androsov, or actually make that Holden Lamb. His shot sailed wide of the net as the Copperheads keep it in Cubs territory. And they turn it over. It's Ben Fury, the cagey vet for the Medicine Hat Cubs, stick handling it to Coaldale territory, but he has it broken up. And Alex Barthel, he's going to ship it to center for Holden Lamb, who elects to throw it to the goaltender Cole Schaefer, who's going to ring it around the boards. Gabriel Rochelle centering, and that is going to be good enough for icing, and we're going to have a face-off deep in Cubs territory with 7:26 left here in the first period.
Well, after a bit of a slow start, looks like Coaldale's got their skating legs under them. They got the goal, and that seems to have given them a little extra confidence. They've even upped the shot clock almost here, now just 1 shot fewer than the Cubs. And they are looking like they're taking it to the Cubs just a little bit more than they did early on in the period.
It's Braden Weisgerber, first game back after a lengthy time off, as Keegan Bartram has the puck at center, dancing into Coaldale territory, but it looks like Kyle Funk was just a shade offside. So we will have a face-off just outside the Coaldale Copperheads blue line, and it will be the captain, Cody Florkowski, for the Cubs, lining up there with Ethan Hendricks. And Florkowski already doing a lot of talking with this Coaldale Copperhead team as he loses the draw. It goes to Brandon Piper in his own zone. He's going to ship it off the boards, but it's the Cubs picking it up. And actually the Coaldale Copperheads, they were able to get the biscuit, but it's Schaefer firing it off the glass. The Copperheads keeping it in. Brandon Piper firing. Hits a few bodies, goes back to Piper. He's going to shoot, sails wide of the net. The Cubs going to start something right now. Keegan Bartram cannot pick up the puck. He has it now at the Coaldale blue line as he falls down. Goes back to the point for Braden Weisgerber. Throws it up to Kyle Funk, a 2-on-1. Funk's got Florkowski. Florkowski shoots, he scores! Cody Florkowski puts it where I keep the dog treats for my dog Baxter. It's 1-1 Medicine tie game.
Cody Florkowski is showing why he's the top scorer on this Medicine Hat Cubs team. All kinds of time as he walked down from the circle. Beautiful feed from Kyle Funk. And Cody Florkowski showing he's got the skills to pay the bills. He puts the puck up in the top shelf. And we've got ourselves a tie game, folks.
A great feed from Kyle Funk evens up this contest at 1 apiece. Florkowski pretty happy about that, and he was wide open as the Cubs going to try and build off that as they were down 1-0, but we're all knotted up at 1-1. Florkowski with the puck in his own zone. Going to throw it over there for Tanner Mayer. Mayer tried to clear the zone, and it is going to sail out of play, and we will have a whistle here with 6:14 left here in the first period. This contest all knotted up at 1 apiece, so we will have a face-off in Cubs actually just outside of Cubs territory. A little confusion there. And it will be Brandon Stahl lining up with Carter Whitbeck. Puck goes to Tanner Mayer. Mayer loses control as Whitbeck flips it in to Cubs territory. Austin Gallipo in the corner looking for the puck as he bulldozes over Whitbeck. Puck still in the corner. Holden Lamb goes back to the point for Young Pine, but it's broken up as Tanner Mayer has the puck. Now it's into Coaldale territory. He shoots, and Wenham comes up with another stop, and he had to be sharp there as Mayer absolutely let one go.
A lot of mustard on that shot there. I think even more than they have out of the concession stand here at the Kinplex.
And the Medicine Hat Cubs looking dangerous once again. Austin Gallipo backhands it there, looking for Goldade. He cannot pull the trigger. And it's the Coaldale Copperheads now. Piper gonna flip it all the way down the ice, chasing after it. It's Jay Hollingsworth. Schaefer comes out of his net. It's at the blue line, and it's Lyon firing. He had Murray at the side of the net, and Schaefer coming up big as he almost was able to hang on. The Copperheads pressing. Rebound there. Austin Gallipo is trying to clear the zone, but it's Jay Hollingsworth with the puck now, top of the circle. Hollingsworth shoots, hits a body out front. Hollingsworth pulls the trigger again, sails wide of the net. The Copperheads with a lot of strut in their step right now, but it's the Cubs clearing the zone, and they make a wholesale change as the Coaldale Copperheads with a lot of pressure here. It's Lyon who has the goal tonight for the Copperheads. He shoots, and the big rebound was there for Colby Murray, but he cannot convert as Murray has the puck now behind the net. It's Kyle Florkowski picking it up in the corner. Florkowski to center for Mitch Heller. Heller dishing there for Dorian Bernhardt. He's going to walk in. Bernhardt drops off for Heller. Back to Bernhardt, and Wenham might have got a piece of it to steer it in the corner. Back to the point for Weisgerber. He goes cross ice for Stock, who fires. Just misses the net by a couple feet was Cam Stock as he walked in and fired a laser beam, but he missed the net. As Heller has it in his own zone, it bobbles off his stick, fighting for possession in the corner, and it is Barthel, and Schaefer coming up with the save. Some pushing and shoving in front of the Medicine Hat Cubs net. This game all knotted up at 1 apiece, and a great pace so far here in this first period, Ryan.
Some real entertaining hockey there, and Cole Schaefer bailing out his defenseman, Braden Weisgerber there, who made an ill-advised clearing attempt that was cut off, and the puck ends up at the goal mouth, and fortunately for the Cubs, Schaefer able to get a handle on it and keep the score at tied.
So a face-off to the right of goaltender Cole Schaefer, who's been great here tonight for the Medicine Hat Cubs. The Coaldale Copperheads lose control of it. It's Gabe LaRochelle. LaRochelle, he's got Sean McGuire into Coaldale territory. LaRochelle electing to shoot, but it goes back in the other corner as the Coaldale Copperheads trying to get something going, but the Cubs providing a lot of pressure on the forecheck. Fear with the puck, backhanded, and hits the post. Ben Fury with a great scoring opportunity, but he found the iron. The Cubs still pressing, but it is going to be Alex Barthel coming away with it at center, and he was looking for Holden Lamb, but he was offside, and Ben Fury almost made it 2-1 on that last sequence.
You can hear that all the way out to Coaldale, I think, that postage there for Ben Fury. Just whipped the backhander at the net and just couldn't quite get the inside part of that post, unfortunately for the Cubs.
As Fury wins the draw, it's Gabe LaRochelle who's back in the lineup. Going to flip it off the boards for Sean McGuire. McGuire into Coaldale's zone. He rings it around the boards, and chasing after it will be Gabe LaRochelle. LaRochelle loses possession, and it's Riley Smith banking it off the boards, but Colby Sadler throws it back into Coaldale territory for Ben Fury. He had some pressure as McGuire was going to go off for a change, but he had the puck right near him, but he was still able to make the change and avoid getting too many men on the ice for the Medicine Hat Cubs as the Copperheads now work it into Cubs territory. But it's going to be Kyle Grant skating out of his own zone. Kyle Grant, the defenseman, going to go for a skate, walks in, goes around, shoots, and Wenham comes up with the pad save as Kyle Grant with some speed. A great scoring chance, but Wenham said not tonight.
Oh, for a guy with only one goal in the season, he sure showed a lot of flash and dash there. Kyle Grant showing he's not, Gallipo's not the only blue liner with some skill on this team.
As Cam Stock going to throw it over there for Kyle Grant. He's going to flip it off the boards. The Copperheads throw it back into Cubs territory. Schaefer had to make a save. The puck was bouncing as Grant's going to ring it around the boards for the assistant captain, Kyle Funk, who fed Keegan Bartram. Puck now at center. It's Kyle Funk with it into Coaldale territory. Dancing in, he scores! Kyle Funk, welcome back to Medicine Hat, and he makes it 2-1.
Kyle Funk showing just why he's so valuable to this team. Look at the speed with which he took that puck and crossed the Copperheads blue line. A little bit of an S-curve around a D-man and a backhander that Wenham just couldn't corral, and suddenly we have a 2-1 Medicine Hat Cubs lead.
And we've seen it all season long when Kyle Funk's been available. He has so much speed and he creates plays out of nothing. And that's exactly what he did as Funk scores an unassisted goal to make it 2-1 as Craig Lyon is centering it into Cubs territory. The Coaldale Copperheads want to tie this game here as Craig Lyon dishes it there for Jay Hollingsworth. But it's broken up by Austin Gallipo. Gallipo finds Funk, who finds Keegan Bartram, and that is just going to be offside. But that line very dangerous here tonight, producing 2 goals already.
Just what the doctor ordered after getting hammered in their last game 8-3, coming out and getting a couple of goals early and regaining the lead after giving up an early one. The Cubs looking to take advantage late here in the period and go into the locker room with that lead.
As Stahl won the draw, but it's the Copperheads who pick up the puck at the center ice area. It is Clayton Tilleman with the biscuit, walking into Cubs territory. He's centered. Nothing was available. Back the other way. It's Cole Stevenson just across the Coaldale Copperheads blue line. Going to ship it into the Snakes territory as Goldade. He takes a hit. Stevenson fighting for possession now with Tilleman, and it's the Cubs. Stahl firing and hits something and goes out of play with just 39.6 seconds left here in the first. This game is now in favor of the Cubs as they lead 2-1, and the shots all even at 12 apiece.
Yeah, plenty of action for both goaltenders so far. Cole Schaefer, he's been steady all year, although he's having some trouble corralling rebounds so far tonight. He'll need to get that under control if he wants to preserve the W. Of course, lots of hockey still to be played before we get to that point.
As Gallipo had it at center, ships it into Coaldale territory. The Copperheads trying to get something going, but the Cubs providing some pressure on the forecheck as Brandon Stahl has it in the slot. Stahl looking for Kyler Goldade, cannot pull the trigger, goes in the corner for Cole Stevenson. Stevenson fighting for possession, and it's going to be Tanner Mayer pinching, and it goes all the way down the ice. Austin Gallipo with the puck in front of Cole Schaefer, and We are going to wind things down here in the first period as Kyle Grant just throws it into Coaldale's territory, and that's going to do it for the first 20 minutes of action. And Ryan, a very entertaining first frame. The Cubs were down 1-0, but they scored 2 big goals.
A lot of offensive push from both teams in the first period, and that's what you want to see from some Junior B hockey. Very entertaining stuff, good body play, and lots of offensive chances. And these two teams are going to be getting after it for the next 40 minutes, I'm sure of it. We're not going to have a lot of gap between these two.
No, that's for sure, and it's been a physical affair so far. We've seen guys like Austin Gallipo throwing the buddy around, and it's good to see guys like that, on the back end stepping up and letting the other team know that you come into our zone, we're going to hit you.
Definitely some plenty of physical play so far. The referee's letting them play, though. Just the one minor penalty to the Cubs in the period. And, definitely Gallipo showing a little bit of feistiness. And on the Copperhead side, Keegan Youngpine looking like he's got something to prove tonight. He's looking for someone to hit.
Yes, absolutely. We will be back in a few moments' time. You're listening to Cubs Hockey on Ustream, a presentation made possible by the Beefeater Steakhouse. Autos are less, where you can enter to win 2 tickets to Las Vegas, Nevada, and the Medicine Hat Lodge, where you can enter to win 2 nights accommodation. I'm Brady Mullsbury, and Ryan Flaherty and I will be back in about 15 minutes. Back here at the Medicine Hat Kinplex, I'm Brandon Mullisbury. Joining me in the broadcast booth tonight is Ryan Flaherty of Chat Television here in the Gas City. The Medicine Hat Cubs leading 2-1 heading into the second period. And Ryan, you're going to give us a little rundown on what went down in the first.
Absolutely, a very eventful first period of play in this game here, Braden, and we had 3 goals in total. Coaldale Copperheads open up the scoring with, on their second shot of the period, Craig Lyon tallying his 14th goal of the season, and getting the assist on the play was Colby Murray. And then, however, it was the Medicine Hat Cubs coming back after killing off a penalty to Dorian Bernhardt for a cross-check. The Cubs came back, and it was none other than Cody Florkowski with assists from Kyle Funk and Darren Keegan Bartram. There's too many Bartrams in this town, I gotta say. Keegan Bartram and Kyle Funk getting the assists on that opening goal from Cody Florkowski, his 10th of the season. And then Kyle Funk giving the Cubs the lead, his first game back from suspension. He gets his 8th goal of the season. They had initially credited nobody with an assist on that, call it an unassisted goal, but that has been changed. Now Keegan Bartram picking up his second helper on the night. So as you mentioned in the first period, that top line for the Cubs really making things happen. Shots in the period, 12 aside, and we have, as we said, a 2-1 lead for the Cubs entering the second period of play.
Yeah, and the Cubs have to be happy about their performance here in the first period. They lost their last game last week against the Cochrane Generals by a count of 8-3. Really a depleted roster for them in that contest, but tonight it looks like they're back to, everyone is healthy and back in the lineup after suspension, it appears. So the Cubs, have to be happy about that, and it's always nice when you have your normal roster when you're not kind of playing shorthanded.
Absolutely. Head coach Jason Bartram mentioning earlier this week that that's something they've been struggling with all season long, really, not having a full complement of players. And you can see what a guy like Kyle Funk does for this lineup and what his absence meant for the team, because he comes back and he's right away back on the score sheet with 2 points. And that top line just flying around the ice. And that's what the Cubs have been saying. They said if we can get all our guys back, we can make some hay in the South Division. They do sit last, but as we mentioned, entering play only 3 points back of Coaldale, and they're in third place. So with a couple of wins stringed together, the Cubs can find themselves right back in the thick of things when it comes to the playoff chase.
Yes, it's going to come down to the last week of the regular season, I'm sure, to determine who is going to make the postseason, as we're ready here for some second period action here at the Kinplex as the captain, Cody Florkowski, for the Medicine Hat Cubs lines up with Coaldale's captain, Colby Murray. It is Florkowski swatting it just ahead, and the Coaldale Copperheads are going to clear it, but it's the Cubs picking it up once again. Keegan Bartram dishes it to Cody Florkowski, and he cannot find his man as the puck goes back into Medicine Hat's territory as Austin Gallipo, who's been very good here tonight, comes out of his own zone. He's going to feed the captain, Cody Florkowski. Bounces off his stick, and it is Colby Murray who threw it, and actually Keegan Bartram throws it back to the point for Austin Gallipo in his own zone. Austin Gallipo looking for the long stretch pass. No one is available, so that will be icing with just 19:22 left here in the second period. The Cubs still leading 2-1.
And Keegan Youngpine back on the ice for the Coaldale Copperheads. He caught my attention in that first period, and not just because of that glorious do he's sporting. He's definitely looking to make some noise on the back end for Coaldale.
The Cubs going to ring it around the boards, but it's the Copperheads keeping it in as Kyle Grant picks it up at the half wall. It's going to be Murray throwing it wide of the net, and the Cubs going to chase after it now, and Schaefer makes a save. He's going to hang on as Alex Barthel was sniffing there at the front of the net as the puck went to Cole Schaefer, but he makes the save to get a whistle with 19:03 left here in this second period. A face-off to the left of the goaltender, Cole Schaefer, who was just chatting with the ref. And I believe that is Ben Fury, who lost the draw. Sean McGuire can't get a handle on it. Gabe LaRochelle to Sean McGuire. And puck came right out front, but Gabe LaRochelle cannot get a handle on it as he had a wide open net.
Daniel Wenham with the Snow Angel there, and maybe a little bit of a distraction as they couldn't capitalize on that chance, but a glorious opportunity for the Cubs.
As Youngpine throws it back into Cubs territory, Fury fighting for possession, and it's Holden Lamb with it now. He loses the puck as Fury ships it up to center for Sean McGuire. It was bouncing, and he cannot get it as Ty McKenzie. He threw it over there to Lamb, and it's the Cubs picking it up. Cole Stevenson shoots, and Wenham steered it in the corner, bounced off the boards, and he's going to hang on. And we will have a face-off as both teams making some wholesale changes.
Copperheads, if they want to get back in this game, they're going to want to minimize plays like that one there with Stevenson just picking apart the defense and taking the puck away. And fortunately for Coaldale, no damage done.
As Hendricks wins it back to the point for Androsov, who rings it off the boards. And the Cubs going to chase after it in their own territory. The official saying not good enough for icing. As the Coaldale Copperheads were pressing, Kyler Goldade picking it up at the half wall, kicks it to center. Goes back into Cubs territory. Goldade has it at center. He loses possession of it now, and it's the Coaldale Copperheads. Riley Smith walks in. He cannot get a handle on it as it was Pulvermacher throwing a hit on him, or actually make that Brandon Stahl, as Schaefer hangs on as the puck comes to him with 17:43 left here in the second period. And you would have to think Cole Schaefer just holding on to it as he did not want those Coaldale Copperheads striking right in front of him.
Loose puck right at the top of the crease, and Cole Schaefer not wanting to take any chances there, so he smothers it, and will start play over with a fresh combo of lines out on the ice.
As Tanner Mayer looks for the puck in the corner, Riley Smith on him, the referee in there creating some problems as well. Don't think the players are too happy that he was in the mix there. Kind of got caught up as the Cubs trying to clear it out of their own zone. But it's kept in at the point by Brandon Piper. Puck now at center. Riley Smith throws it cross ice to Bashi, who fired, and Schaefer made the save as Austin Gallipo loses possession now in the corner. He goes for the big hit, and the Cubs clear the zone, and it's going to be Brandon Piper ringing it off the glass, and we are going to have a penalty. The referee with his arm in the air. It's going to be a cross-checking minor to Austin Gallipo.
Well, another cross-checking penalty for the Cubs, their second of the night, and it will be the Copperhead second power play as a result. So far they are 0 for 1 with the man advantage, but those are plays that you just can't make if you're Kyle Funk, or for that matter any player, any member of the Cubs.
So the Cubs going to go to work on the penalty kill as Cody Florkowski argues his case for the Medicine Hat Cubs. He's not too pleased about it. Face off to the catching glove of Cole Schaefer. The Cubs losing the draw. Lyon almost able to walk in. It's kept in at the point by Houston Bashi. The Coaldale Copperheads going to work on the power play. It's Bashi with the puck at the point, looking for some room. He goes cross ice back to him. Bashi fires. It's broken up by the Medicine Hat Cubs. Mitch Heller fires it all the way down the ice. That's going to kill some time off the penalty of Austin Gallipo, the cross-checking minor.
Yeah, thanks for picking me up there, partner. I said Kyle Funk, but you're right there. It is Austin Gallipo, a key member of the blue line and a good penalty killer for the Cubs. So a big loss, a double whammy there for the Cubs on this penalty.
Kyle Grant sidesteps a hit. He has the puck. He had a great scoring chance earlier in this frame. And the puck now comes to Bashi, and he scores. A feed to Houston Bashi, and he goes top shelf. Makes the water bottle dance on the power play. And just like that, we're all tied up at 2.
Well, just shows you there what those penalties can do. And Craig Lyon with a beautiful feed from behind the goal line. He found his teammate Bashi out front. And nice shot upstairs on Cole Schaefer, and we are tied once again, folks. I guess these two teams probably wouldn't have it any other way.
And they had it up on the scoreboard that it was 3-2, but that is incorrect. It is a 2-2 hockey game, and some confusion going on right now. I don't think the referee is going to let a certain Coaldale Copperhead player on the ice. Didn't like the late change. So we will see what happens with this. Now back to 5-on-5 as that was a power play marker as Houston Bashi found the back of the net. As the Cubs trying to pick it up in their own zone, and Schaefer is going to hang on to it as the puck just kind of came to him. He is going to cover up and get a whistle for his club as they try to calm down, get the lead back as they're up 2-1 now, 2-2. Face off to the right of Cole Schaefer. It was going to be Ben Fury lining up, but he is waved out of the face-off circle. So Sean McGuire takes the draw, but he loses it to Whitbeck as the Copperhead's going to have to tag up or they were going to be offside. And it's picked up by Whitbeck in the slot. He shoots and Schaefer makes the save as Carter Whitbeck let one go, but Schaefer kind of caught it up in his head, almost hit his head there, but he was able to hang on.
Carter Whitbeck getting a little tap there from his teammate, making his Copperheads debut tonight, if I'm reading my score sheet correctly. And he's a young fella. He's still got the full cage on there and got a good shot off on Schaefer.
As Florkowski rims it around the boards for Kyle Funk at the half wall. He ships it to center for Keegan Bartram, who flips it into Coaldale territory. Florkowski with the puck at the Coaldale blue line. He shoots, sails off the inboards. Bartram centers for Funk. He was not available. It's Bartram shooting, and it's sailed wide of the net. Keegan Bartram with a great scoring opportunity. This line very dangerous as Grant fires on the one-timer, and Wenham makes the save once again. It's Kyle Grant winding up, hits a shin pad, comes just outside of Coaldale's blue line. It's Tanner Mayer flipping it into Copperhead's territory as Wenham is going to hang on and settle the troops as Cody Florkowski exchanges some words with Brendan Androsov. Those two just discussing where they're going to go for some coffee after the game, I'm sure.
You gotta love Cody Florkowski giving up about, 8-10 inches there in that matchup, but he's not backing down. He's got a few words to say, and he's gonna say them, whether you like it or not. And finally, a little bit of pressure for the Cubs there as they get their first 3 shots of the period here, almost 5 minutes in.
Florkowski lining up with Ethan Hendricks to the left of the Coaldale goaltender. Florkowski going for the wrap, centering it out front rather, and the goaltender for the Coaldale Copperheads makes a save. Bartram fires, and Wenham comes up with another save as it just deflects out of play. This game still tied at 2 with 14:56 left in the second.
Pretty sure that one caught a piece of Daniel Wenham's mask there. Just got his big body in front of that puck, and lucky there because a giveaway behind the net, and the Florkowski to Bartram combo there. Again, that top line creating all sorts of havoc in the Coaldale zone.
The Copperheads come out of their own zone. It's Tyler Van Varenberg chasing after it, and it's Cam Stock putting the body on him. Those two fighting for possession. Florkowski trying to pick it up, but it is Ethan Hendricks trying to walk out front. Nothing was available as Stock flips it along the half wall to Kyle Funk, who takes a big hit. He gets up, though. He's a tough customer. As Schaefer comes out of his net, decides to play it for Cam Stock, who takes a big hit. Schaefer coming out of his net once again, rings it around the boards, and it's Kyle Funk dancing with the puck at center. Kyle Funk with the goal already, walks in, and he shoots. Wenham doesn't know where it is as the Copperheads fail to clear the zone. Kyle Funk shooting, goes back to the point for Weisgerber. He pulls the trigger, but it is Wenham coming up with the save as he had Cody Florkowski knocking at his door once again.
What can you say about Kyle Funk? Running out of superlatives there. Another couple of stellar moves to get open, fire the shot, and sure enough, Wenham had no clue where that puck was. Somehow ended up behind the net, and then Funk with a second opportunity.
As Colby Murray lines up in the face-off dot in Coaldale territory versus Florkowski, and it's Florkowski battling for possession. Bernhardt gets it, he fires back to the point for Kyle Grant, flips it around the boards, and it is Kyle Florkowski with the biscuit dancing off the half wall. It's broken up. The Cubs do a good job of keeping it in as Weisgerber fires the shot, and Florkowski playing some give and go with Bernhardt. Puck comes to center. The Cubs cannot get a handle on it as Craig Lyon ships it up into Cubs territory, and Grant throws the big body. The Copperheads firing on all cylinders as Colby Murray had a scoring chance, broken up by the Medicine Hat Cubs.
Great stick by Bernhardt there.
It's Young Pine going to go cross ice for Androsov. He can't get it deep into Cubs territory. Androsov fires at center, going to bounce off the inboards, and the Cubs going to start out of their own zone. It's Dorian Bernhardt It's going to go cross ice as Weisgerber picks it up at center. It's into Coaldale territory as they clear the zone, and it's picked up by Kyle Forkowski, dancing into Coaldale territory, spins, cannot get anything going, as it is Holden Lamb chasing after it. Now the assistant captain for the Coaldale Copperheads, broken up by Kyle Funk, back into Cubs territory. Some exciting pace here in the second period as Tanner Mayer loses possession. Holden Lamb centering in, the Copperhead score. Alex Barthel out front, and he gets it over the pad of Cole Schaefer, I believe. And the Coaldale Copperheads with 2 unanswered goals as they take the 3-2 lead.
Oh, just a brutal giveaway there by the Cubs in their own end, and you got to make solid passes when you're trying to clear your own defensive zone. They did not do that there, and Lamb took advantage, made a beautiful pass across to Barthel, and Barthel, who's been buzzing around all night so far, cashes in and gives Coaldale a much-needed lead.
So the Medicine Hat Cubs find themselves in a hole right now, down by a goal. You know they want to get something going with 12:21 left here in the second period, but still lots of hockey to be played here at the Kinplex as Whitbeck ships it into Cubs territory. The Medicine Hat Cubs, Keegan Bartram, who's been looking good here tonight, goes cross ice for Mayer. Mayer winds up, and Wenham is going to hang on as Cody Florkowski takes a skate in front of Wenham. And Wenham had to be careful as Cody Florkowski's been there all night long looking for that rebound.
Well, if the Cubs are going to get back into this and tie this game back up, they're going to need more contributions from the rest of their lineup. Their top line has been buzzing all night, but they're going to need a little bit more push from their second and third line guys. Their back end as well, just pushing the puck up the ice, because so far in this period, Coaldale's really taken the balance of play.
Yes, they have, as Colby Murray has the puck at the right side into Cubs territory, going cross ice for Whitbeck, and he cannot get it done. And it's going to be Blake Brett back to the point for Young Pine, who rims it around the boards. Gabe LaRochelle with the puck at the right side into Cubs territory. Goes back for Weisgerber, who loses it. Stevenson with the pick as Weisgerber skates it up to center. And the Coaldale Copperheads doing a good job of pressing here in the second period. Up by 1 goal. They would like to make it a 2-goal game for themselves as Weisgerber shoots it around the boards, picking it up as Cam Stock flips it off the boards, and Stock is able to pick it up once again, goes deep into Coaldale territory as Wenham has to come out of his net to play it. And it's Stahl at the top of the circle, shoots, Wenham gets a piece of it, steers it in the corner. Tanner Mayer pitching off the end boards as Gabe LaRochelle fights with Young Pine for possession. LaRochelle wins a battle. Goes back to the point for Kyle Grant. Cross ice to Mayer, who fans on the shot. Stevenson looking for LaRochelle, who falls down, took a hit from Young Pine. LaRochelle walks out front, fires, hits something, and goes back to the point for Tanner Mayer. Mayer pitching. He looks for Cole Stevenson, who's looking for the centering pass. LaRochelle into the corner. And it's Riley Smith. Takes a big hit from Brandon Stahl. As the Coaldale Copperheads with the puck, Ethan Hendricks cannot get the shot away as Kyle Grant will try to start out of his own zone, ships it off the boards for Kyler Goldade. Back there for Kyle Grant, who finds Tanner Mayer, and the puck was just one step ahead of him, but it's the Copperheads almost getting a partial breakaway, and Schaefer going to come out of his net. The Copperhead player cannot get a handle on it. I believe that was Riley Smith. Puck now into Coaldale territory. It's Sean McGuire with some speed and fancy moves. Centering there, broken up by Wenham. Puck goes back to the point and to center. It's Tanner Mayer with a backhand into Coaldale's territory as Wenham sets it up for Brandon Piper. Piper looking for the long stretch pass for the captain, Colby Murray, but he cannot get his stick on it as Fury chops it into Coaldale's zone. Wenham once again coming out of his net to play it. He is going to find Brendan Androsov, who ships it to Jay Hollingsworth. Back to the point. The Cubs lose possession. It's Murray, but he has McGuire on him. Murray looking for the pass for Lyon. Lyon sniffing at the side. That's Schaefer with the save. As Lyon was left all alone in front, but Cole Schaefer, like he's done all season long, saves the Medicine Hat Cubs there.
2 huge saves back-to-back by Cole Schaefer. First on Craig Lyon and then on the captain, Colby Murray. And he managed to track that puck down, and it looks like we've got ourselves a timeout now. I think the Cubs trying to regroup. They're having some issues so far in this second period.
Yes, looking a little unorganized and scrambling a bit here in the second frame. So head coach Jason Bartram just going to settle them down, and they're going to try and get back to what made them successful in that first period, which was a lot of great forechecking and a lot of speed, which created all sorts of problems for the Coaldale Copperheads.
Yeah, it looks like Coaldale has made a few in-game adjustments in that first intermission, and they seem to have figured out how to slow the Cubs down a little bit. The Cubs now, their job is to counteract that and figure out another way to get around the Copperheads defense and get some more chances on the Coaldale net.
Yes, and when they've had chances in the second period, Wenham has come up huge for his squad, looking very solid in the Coaldale net this evening, as we got a face-off now to the right of goaltender Cole Schaefer. Puck goes to Cam Stock, and he cannot get a handle on it as the Cubs fight for possession, but it's Jay Hollingsworth coming out. He shoots, and Schaefer makes the save, but Lyon was sniffing at the net as he dumps a Cubs player. Looks like we are going to have some penalties possibly handed out here, Ryan.
Well, Craig Lyon, you got to keep better control of your stick there. He was kind of flailing around, and looks like his lumber caught the little face of who was the Cubs player there. I believe it caught Cameron Stock right in the face there, and he's going to come off to the bench and get checked out. It looks like he's okay, but no penalties called. Looks like we're just going to have a face-off in the Cubs' end. Could have been a high-sticking call there, but I guess the referees felt it was inadvertent, and so we'll move the face-off to the left of Cole Schaefer.
Yeah, and Kyle Florkowski and Colby Murray exchanging some words in the face-off dot as Murray swats it into the corner, and he was trying to come away with it. It's still in the corner, some pushing and shoving, and the Cubs trying to get something going to get back into the hockey game as they trail by a count of 3-2, and Hollingsworth firing from the point, but Schaefer making the easy save. The Cubs going to get some fresh legs out there right now. The number one unit of Kyle Flunk, Cody Florkowski, and Keegan Bartram going to go to work.
It doesn't look like that timeout really helped. Copperheads with a couple of strong shifts following the timeout, and Cubs really reeling a little bit here in the second period. We're getting to just past the midway point, and so far the Copperheads are starting to look a little bit stronger on the ice.
As Florkowski finds Kyle Funk, who's at center now, cross ice to Keegan Bartram. Bartram, he's got Funk dancing in deep into Coaldale territory behind the net. Keegan Bartram goes back to the point for Kyle Grant, who's going to rim it around the boards, and keeping it in will be the pinching Tanner Mayer. Puck in the corner of the Copperheads trying to clear the zone. Grant fires the puck wobbling, but they cannot find the back of the net as it sails wide. Puck now at the in the Medicine Hat Cubs zone. And it's Kyle Funk, the backhand for Cody Florkowski, a 2-on-2. Kyle Funk firing. Florkowski could not pull the trigger on the rebound, and the referee going to blow the whistle as the net is off. So we will have a face-off. I believe it may actually come outside the Coaldale Copperhead blue line, but we'll get the official word on that shortly. No, looks like deep into Coaldale Copperhead's territory to the right of Wenham as Florkowski loses the draw to Clayton Tilleman as the Copperheads throw it all the way down the ice, and that will be good enough for icing as Austin Gallipo kind of throws his man, Austin Barthel, into the boards.
Well, we talked at the top of this game, Braden, about the rivalry between these two teams. A lot of feistiness, but so far they seem much more intense on just getting some offensive chances. So far, no rough stuff other than a few good body checks, but maybe that's because of the close score in this game. Neither of these teams wants to jeopardize their chances by taking any silly penalties.
Yeah, no question about that. Face-off now to the blocker side of Daniel Wenham, who's been great here tonight for the Coaldale Copperheads, and Florkowski is going to be waved out of the face-off circle, so Kyle Funk takes the draw against Clayton Tilleman, and Funk wins the draw, goes right to Florkowski, centering there for Bartram, and he cannot get a handle on it as the captain Murray, a partial break, one-on-one, he centers, but Holden Lamb could not get a handle on it, and Schaefer might have got a piece of it there as Gallipo flips it deep into Coaldale's territory. As the Medicine Hat Cubs still looking for the equalizer as they trail this game 3-2, as Keegan Bartram is doing some pushing and shoving with Brandon Piper, and I don't think Piper was too happy with the way Bartram kind of ran into Daniel Wenham.
Well, and just as I say that they aren't getting too hostile, it looks like we might be sending a couple guys to the box, or at least one. Looks like Brandon Piper is maybe making his way to the penalty box. Is he going to take a member of the Cubs with him? It looks like that is the case, as Keegan Bartram is headed there as well. And just prior to that, Colby Murray showing some really good speed as he broke free into the Cubs zone, but a great defensive play there by Tanner Mayer to close off the space and keep him from centering the puck cleanly to Holden Lamb, keeping the lead just to 1 for Coaldale. We're going to have some 4-on-4 action here, I believe. No coincidental minors, so we will stay 5-on-5.
Yes, a face-off to the right of goaltender Wenham as Cole Stevenson lines up in the dot, but it's Whitbeck winning the draw as Young Pine takes a big hit. Gabe LaRochelle keeping it, and he fires from the sharp angle. Wenham comes up with the save, and LaRochelle centering, and Wenham is going to hang on with 7:16 left here in the second period. The Cubs trailing this hockey game by a count of 3-2. So we will do this all over again. And it's going to be Whitbeck lining up for the Coaldale Copperheads against, I believe, Brandon Stahl. Some jostling for position. Stahl centering. No one was available. Back to the point for Weisgerber. He fires, takes a bounce. Almost fooled the goaltender Wenham as the Copperheads try to clear the zone and get something going as Blake Brett chases after it into Cubs territory. Brett centering there for Whitbeck, who pulled the trigger, but Schaefer comes up with the save, and we are going to have a penalty going towards the Medicine Hat Cubs. Appears it's going to be a hooking call.
What a huge stop there by Cole Schaefer, keeping the margin just to 1 as the Copperheads came flying into the zone there with a chance. And now the Cubs are going to go on to the penalty kill once again. This will be their third penalty kill of the night. Of course, Coaldale scoring on the last Cubs penalty, so they're 1 for 2 so far. And Medicine Hat so far hasn't had a power play in this game. They really need to watch the discipline.
Yes, for sure. A face-off deep into Cubs territory. Medicine Hat trying to come away with it and kill some time off this Cole Stevenson minor for hooking. 1:48 left in that penalty as the Copperheads going to go to work on the power play, and it goes back to the point for Murray, the captain. He dishes cross ice to Boschy, but the Cubs able to break it up. Good job, La Rochelle now, and he dishes for Brandon Stahl, who fires, hits a body. The Cubs working it into Coaldale's zone, but the Copperheads going to come away with it. It's Houston Boschy. Boschy to the captain, Murray, who's skating very slow into Cubs territory behind the net of Cole Schaefer as Austin Gallipo tries to ring it around the boards, but it was kept in at the point by Houston Boschy. The Cubs flip it down into Coaldale's territory. That's going to kill some time off the penalty to Cole Stevenson, but it is Clayton Tillman firing, sails wide of the net. Clayton Tillman with a decent scoring chance on the man advantage for the Coaldale Copperheads as Mayer comes up behind the net. He's going to flip it all the way down the ice for Kyle Funk as he was at the blue line, but he is going to be offside. Almost caught the Coaldale Copperheads by surprise on the penalty kill was the Medicine Hat Cubs.
Sorry there, partners. Funk sneaking out of the box there at the end of his minor penalty, and he's kind of sitting at the blue line and just couldn't stay on side for that pass, or he might have had a good opportunity on net.
Funk wins the draw, goes back to the point for Tanner Mayer. Puck now at center, a 2-on-1 developing. It is Kyle Funk. Funk dances in, but a great defensive play by Brendan Androsov to get the body on Kyle Funk as Funk took a tumble, but he's okay, and that is going to kill a lot of time off the Cole Stevenson minor as Cole Schaefer tried to flip it all the way down the ice. Hits a stick, and that appears that is going to be high sticking or offside as two players come out of the penalty box. It was Keegan Bartram and Brandon Piper, who were off for some coincidentals.
I should correct myself there. Funk not in the box, but for some reason he was sitting at the opponent's blue line on that last play despite killing a penalty, but I guess that's what the offensive players do. They look for offensive opportunities no matter what the game time situation.
As Mayer ships it deep into Coaldale's territory, Wenham comes out of his net and sets it up for Androsov. The Copperheads looking scrambly, trying to get it out of their own zone. Not a lot of passes connecting here recently for the Coaldale Copperheads, as we're back to 5-on-5. The Stevenson Minor over as Tillman walks in, and Schaefer comes up with a big save, as he believed he got a piece of his glove on it. Quite the save from Cole Schaefer, is back to 5-on-5. As I mentioned, Cody Florkowski coming out of his own zone. Goes cross ice to Austin Gallipo at center. Ships it up to Sean McGuire. McGuire to Florkowski. He scores! Cody Florkowski bulges the twine, and we're all knotted up at 3 apiece. His second of the night.
Well, how often have we seen that? A great scoring chance at one end of the ice, followed up by a goal at the other end. Cole Schaefer getting just enough of the puck to not ring it off the post, and the puck goes up the other way. And Cody Florkowski once again showing what he can do as he puts the puck in the top shelf, and we've got ourselves a tie game once again.
And if the scouting report was high glove on Daniel Wenham, the Cubs certainly read that very well, and they've beat him there a number of times tonight. And we're all tied up here at 3 as the Cubs, with a lot of speed. They're looking like they got lots of strut in their step after that goal, no doubt about it. As the Coaldale Copperheads come out of their own zone, it's Bashi shipping it up, but that is going to be too far, and we will have some icing. 4:01 left here in the second. All knotted up at 3, so plenty of hockey left, and could be a little high-scoring affair, Ryan.
It looks that way. 3 goals aside. Cody Florkowski with his second goal tonight. Sean McGuire and Austin Gallipo picking up assists, and with that goal, his 11th of the season, Cody Florkowski takes over the team lead in goal scoring.
As the Cubs work it in Coaldale's territory, Gabe LaRochelle behind the net of Wenham. LaRochelle looking for some ice. He goes back to the point for Grant, who fires. It's tipped in front, but it goes in the corner. Kyle Funk fighting for it. LaRochelle has it. Backhand in the slot. Bartram was not there in time to shoot. And the Coaldale Copperheads electing to throw it all the way down the ice, and we're going to do this thing all over again. And the Coaldale Copperheads actually out shooting the Cubs right now, 22-18, but the Cubs really looking motivated after that timeout by head coach Jason Bartram.
Yeah, it might have taken a couple of shifts, but they certainly have gotten back in the swing of things.
As Wenham is going to hang on as Bartram fired right off the face-off, driving hard to the net. An easy save for him, but he did not want to take too many chances. So we have a face-off again to the left of Wenham. It's Holden Lamb coming away with it. Goes back into Coaldale's territory as Bartram creates some great pressure there. The Medicine Hat Cubs going to come out of their own zone. Grant ships it off the boards. He was looking for LaRochelle, couldn't get a handle on it. LaRochelle with the puck at the Coaldale blue line. Goes cross ice to Kyle Funk with a goal here tonight. Dances in the slot. Funk shoots, and LaRochelle cannot bang it home at the side of the net. Kyle Funk found his man and a great scoring chance. Funk now behind the net of Wenham. Centers there for the pitching Austin Gallipo, and it hit his skate. He cannot convert. Puck now into Medicine Hat zone. Blake Brett dancing in, but it's broken up as Kyle Funk picks it up at the half wall. Goes up to center for Ben Fury, who takes a hit. He falls down. Kyler Goldane into Coaldale territory. He shoots, sails just wide on that as Funk going to go off for the changes. He was looking very tired after a number of great scoring opportunities created by him.
Oh, Kyle Funk double shifting, and why wouldn't you when he's been off for a while? He's got fresh legs, and he's got a lot of skill to burn.
And we will have a penalty. It could be a charging minor going to the Medicine Hat Cubs. The referee with his arm in the air, and we will get the official call, and that is the case. It is going to be charging. So the Medicine Hat Cubs going to go back to work on the penalty kill as Kyle Florkowski going to head to the sin bin for 2 minutes or less. A great opportunity for the Coaldale Copperheads to go ahead in this game as we're all knotted up here at 3 apiece. Face off to the right of goaltender Cole Schaefer. And it's going to be Holden Lamb at the point. He's going to go cross ice for Jay Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth now with the puck at the left face-off circle. Cross ice for Bosch, who fires, hits something and goes wide of the net. The Coaldale Copperheads trying to work it on the power play. Keegan Bartram has almost picked up at the puck. Bartram almost a partial break. Dancing in. Bartram shoots, and the Cubs score! Cody Farkowski, 3 goals tonight for him. A short-handed marker. It's 4-3.
Cody Florkowski with the hat trick, his 3rd marker on the night, and just a benefit of some loose change in the neutral zone. Great effort to follow up as Bartram initially got the puck loose. Florkowski followed up, and a little bit of give, a little bit of go, and suddenly the Cubs have the lead. Who needs a power play?
Yeah, definitely opens up the ice a bit, and Cody Florkowski, he's doing everything besides selling popcorn here tonight at the Kinplex, agitating the Coaldale Copperheads, and he scored 3 goals in the right spot at the right time as the Cubs take the lead 4-3. They were down 3-2, 2 unanswered goals, but the Coaldale Copperheads still on the power plays. That was a shorthanded marker as McKenzie fires, sails wide of the net. McKenzie keeping it in at the point, chips it into the corner. Austin Gallipo fighting for possession with Lyon, and it is Jay Hollingsworth losing the battle as Mayer tries to clear the zone. It's kept in at the point by the Coaldale Copperheads player Brendan Androsov. 1 minute remaining here in the second as Austin Gallipo throws Lyon to the ice, who looks like he is injured, and he is trying to get up. I think he got a stick in the chicklets there, so hopefully for him he's all right as he skates very slow off to the bench, and we will have a nice offside play with just 41.6 seconds left here in the second period. Kyle Florkowski still in the box for Medicine Hat.
Well, we'll have to check with the official scorers here at the intermission, because I've got 3 goals for Cody Florkowski, but they just announced his 2nd of the night. We'll have to check that at the intermission, but nevertheless, Cody Florkowski's been all over the ice tonight. Now the Cubs just want to kill off the rest of this penalty and get to the break with the lead.
As Young Pine flips it in, Cole Schaefer makes the pad save. The Cubs able to clear the zone. The puck now at center as Bashi fires it in. Schaefer comes out of his net to set it up. A little miscommunication from Schaefer and Cam Stock, who has it now in the corner fighting for possession with Alex Barthel, who wins the battle, almost walked out front. And that is going to do it for the Kyle Florkowski minor with 13 seconds left here in the second period. The Cubs leading 4-3, and sitting at the side of the net was Bashi, who fired sail wide. And that will do it here as Florkowski lays the smack it down on Holden Lamb. Those two doing some pushing and shoving. An exciting finish to the end of this second period. The Cubs head into the locker room with the 4-3 lead, and the story of this game has no doubt been the play of Cody Florkowski with 3 goals here tonight for Medicine Hat.
Absolutely, Florkowski and the rest of that Cubs top line just flying around the ice. I said earlier in the second period it'd be nice to see some contributions from the rest of the lineup. So far the Cubs haven't needed it. 4 goals from that top line, and 3 of them coming from Cody Florkowski. He's been all over the ice, the captain of the Cubs, showing once again why he is a leader on this team, why he leads the team in scoring. He's got all kinds of finish, all kinds of dash, flash, all kinds of things, and he has had an excellent game so far, as has his line mates Kyle Funk and Keegan Bartram.
Yeah, Cody Florkowski with a whale of a game, as we mentioned. And now, Ryan, it's time to kind of run down what happened in that second period scoring-wise.
Busy period there, and the Medicine Hat Cubs getting into a bit of penalty trouble early on as Austin Gallipo took a cross-checking minor. Other penalties for the Cubs included Keegan Bartram going for slashing and Cole Stevenson for the hook. And on that first penalty of the period, Houston Bashi scored his 4th of the season for the Coaldale Copperheads on that power play, with getting assists from Craig Lyon and Holden Lamb. And that tied the game at 2 apiece, and then the Copperheads managed to take the lead at 3-2 as Alex Barthel scored his 8th of the year. Holden Lamb picking up a second helper on the night, as well as Clayton Tilleman, and that gave Coaldale a 3-2 lead. But Back came the Cubs. Cody Florkowski with his second goal of the night, his 11th on the season, with assists from Sean McGuire and Austin Gallipo. Then Kyle Florkowski goes to the box for charging, and wouldn't you know it, but Cody Florkowski with yet another goal, his third of the game, his 12th of the season. An assist from Keegan Bartram, and that a shorthanded marker, and that brings us to the end of 40 minutes. We've got a 4-3 score in favor of the Cubs. Shots in that period, 12 for the Copperheads, 9 for the Cubs, at a total of 24-21 in favor of Coaldale.
Thank you very much, Ryan, and of course you're listening to Cubs Hockey on Ustream, a production made possible by our fine sponsors like the Beefeater Steakhouse, where you can go and enjoy some nice steak, maybe some seafood or some chicken, whatever really tickles your fancy, no question. And also Autos Are Less, where you can enter win 2 tickets to Las Vegas, Nevada. Always nice to head down to Las Vegas. Always a great time in the Sin City. And of course the Medicine Hat Lodge, where you can enter to win 2 nights accommodation. I'm Brandon Malsbury. In the booth with me tonight is Ryan Flaherty. We'll be back with third period action in about 15 minutes time. Welcome back. You're listening to Cubs Hockey on Ustream. I'm Brandon Mullsbury, joined in the broadcast booth here tonight by Chat TV's very own Ryan Flaherty. The Medicine Hat Cubs heading into this third period up by a count of 4-3, but we're going to run down some scores for you. Right now in the Western Hockey League, a final in Moose Jaw. It took a shootout, but the Regina Pats winning 5-4. Another final to pass along. The Swift Current Broncos taming the Brandon Wheat Kings 4-3. Right now in overtime, it's Portland and Edmonton doing battle. It's 4-4. The Lethbridge Hurricanes with a rare win tonight at home versus the Prince Albert Raiders 3-1. Of course, the Medicine Hat Tigers welcome the Prince Albert Raiders to town tomorrow night for Teddy Bear Toss. And you can bet Dylan Basinius and Jaden Hart ready for that one as they are former Tigers. In the third, the Kootenay Ice absolutely hammering the Kamloops Blazers 6-2. In the third as well, the Tri-City Americans taming the Prince George Cougars at the moment 3-2. At the end of 40 minutes of play in Kelowna, the Everett Silvertips and Kelowna Rockets all knotted up at 1 apiece. Just beginning the third out in Spokane, it's the Seattle Thunderbirds holding the edge 4-1. And a close game in Victoria as the Vancouver Giants are up 2-1. We go to the National Hockey League. The Phoenix Coyotes trailing the Vancouver Canucks right now 2-0 in the third. That third period just got underway. A final in New Jersey as the Wings tame the Devils 3-1. The Carolina Hurricanes beating the San Jose Sharks 5-3. It was the Columbus Blue Jackets shutting out the Minnesota Wild 4-0. It required a shootout, but the Anaheim Ducks edging the Chicago Blackhawks 3-2. And the Colorado Avalanche bouncing back after getting smoked in Edmonton. They beat the Calgary Flames 3-2. Former Medicine Hat Tiger Chris Russell with one of the goals for the Calgary Flames tonight. And that is a recap around the world of hockey. Almost ready for some third period action here at the Kinplex between the Medicine Hat Cubs and the Coaldale Copperheads. And Ryan, at the end of that period, the Cubs really were able to bounce back after a pretty bad first 10 minutes.
Absolutely. Second half of that period, as you mentioned, much better for Medicine Hat. Cody Florkowski giving the Cubs the advantage late in the frame with the shorthanded marker, his third of the game for his 12th on the season. We're ready to face it off here, and to be a fly on the wall in those two locker rooms in the second intermission.
Yes, for sure, as Androsov goes cross ice for Piper. Piper flipped it up to the Cubs blue line. Gallipo shipped it in, and the Coaldale Copperheads are going to throw it all the way down to Cubs territory as Austin Gallipo throws it to center for Keegan Bartram. The speedy Keegan Bartram dancing into Coaldale territory. Elects to backhand it into the corner, goes behind the net of Wynnum. And it is Androsov throwing it along the half wall, but the Cubs, Keegan Bartram doing a good job of forechecking here. Funk centering there for Bartram, but he cannot pull the trigger. As Jay Hollingsworth, one-on-one with Mayer. Hollingsworth shoots, he fans on the shot, goes in the corner. Tanner Mayer flips it for Kyle Funk. Funk going to send it all the way down the ice. The official saying not good enough for icing as Brandon Piper, he's going to throw it over towards Ty McKenzie. Back to Piper, who's tried to throw it all the way down the ice. It's broken up. Ben Fear, top of the circle, shoots. It was kept in front, but Wynnum got a piece of it as Sean McGuire was sniffing in the blue paint. The Copperheads clearing the zone as Colby Sadler going to get things going for his club out of his own zone. Sadler had the play broken up, but it is Kyle Grant fighting for possession behind the net of Cole Schaefer. Grant loses the puck to Clayton Tillman. Tillman battling for control at the half wall, and so McGuire takes a hit, and it is going to be Gabe LaRochelle dancing into Coaldale territory, goes behind the net of Wynnum. LaRochelle at the left side, back to the point for Cam Stock, and the net will come off its moorings as we will have a face-off with 18-17 left in the third period.
One of these days, I think they'll dig those post holes a little deeper here at the Kinplex. Those nets tend to come off a little bit easy here. Unfortunately, that stopped a bit of a rush there for the Cubs as Gabe LaRochelle showing a lot of jump in this night, and he hasn't had too many scoring chances, but he's been buzzing all around in the offensive zone, and he's just waiting for something to happen, and he looks pretty sharp.
Yes, he spent some time in the Saskatchewan Junior League with the Nipawin Hawks. So you know he has great hockey sense, and he showed it very well this season when he's been in the lineup for the Medicine Hat Cubs as Youngpine throws it along the boards there for Androsov. And it is going to be Alex Barthel looking to center. Youngpine did a good job of pinching to ship it up to Tillman, who dumps it in. Schaefer going to ring it around the boards. Goes to the half wall as Ben Fury was fighting for possession. The Cubs trying to clear it out of their own zone. Fury now with it at center. A lot of pressure on him from Alex Barthel back deep into Cubs territory. As it's going to be Cam Stock ringing it around the boards. It was broken up by Van Varenberg. The Copperheads got a tag up as they would have been offside as La Rochelle picks it up at his own bench. He goes to center for Ben Fury. Ben Fury dancing in. Drops it off for Stevenson. Stevenson can't get a handle on it. Fury centers for La Rochelle. Can't pull the trigger. Mayer winds up. Goes wide of the net as the Copperheads will start out of their own zone. Tyler Van Varenberg. He goes cross ice for Hendricks. Hendricks dished it off there for Smith. Firing, but it was broken up by the Medicine Hat Cubs. A lot of great defensive play right there. As Youngpine has it at his own blue line, finds Riley Smith, shoots it into Cubs territory as Schaefer comes out of his net, rings it around the boards for Kyle Forkowski. The Cubs fighting for possession, kept in at the point by Piper, who fires, and he's got Van Varenberg shooting, and Schaefer comes up with another save here tonight, and that is his 22nd save, and Schaefer has been standing on his head all night long.
Oh, he had to be sharp there as Tyler Van Varenberg with the quick turnaround shot from just about, 5-6 feet in front of the net. Piper getting the point shot through, and Van Varenberg on the rebound, but Schaefer equal to the task.
As Kyle Grant fights for possession, it's going to be Brandon Stahl coming away with it at the half wall. Cubs at the center ice area now. Stahl in there in the mix looking for the biscuit. But it's going to be Piper who's going to ship it into Cubs territory. It's Colby Sadler at his own blue line. Backhands it down into Coaldale territory. And the Copperheads, Whitbeck with the puck now, electing to just dump it into Cubs territory. He chases after it, and he takes the body from Colby Sadler. And that allows Kyle Grant to get the puck. He loses control. Whitbeck centering there. And it's going to be Kyle Forkowski trying to clear it out of his own zone. Kyle Forkowski loses it. Schaefer rings it up to center. It's going to be Piper throwing it off the boards. Sadler pokes, checks it to center, and it's Kyler Golday in across the Coaldale blue line on the right side. Kyler Golday takes a spill, and it's going to be Tillman firing. It's broken up by Stock. Walks out front. He shoots in the slot. Was Cam Stock, but it hits something, goes out of play. With 15:47 left here in the third, the Cubs up 4-3, and Cam Stock all sorts of space, and he had a very dangerous scoring opportunity.
Yeah, Cam Stock just one goal on the season, but glorious opportunity in the slot there. Unfortunately for him, one of the Copperheads D-men getting a stick on that and rocketing the puck, deflecting it up into the netting, and we got a face-off here to the left of Daniel Wenham.
It's going to be the two captains going toe-to-toe, Cody Forkowski and Colby Murray, and it's the Copperheads winning that battle as Craig Lyon fights for possession in his corner. He's going to come away with it. Lyon electing to shoot it high, but Heller got a glove on it. The Cubs with the puck now at center as they throw it all the way down the ice, and the Cubs shipped it down, and that was not good enough for icing, the officials say, as Lyon comes to center, and he's going to find the captain, Colby Murray, but it's broken up by Darian Bernhardt across his own blue line at center, at 2-on-2. Dorian Bernhardt, he's got Forkowski, Bernhardt with the clapper, and Wenham makes a save. Funk firing, he fanned on it, goes behind the net of Wenham. Forkowski trying to, Funk picking it up, he shoots, and Wenham, I think he got a piece of it, and he keeps it a one-goal game as Kyle Funk looking dangerous once again. As Austin Galipo collects the puck at center. And it is Murray now dancing into Cubs territory. He's rubbed out along the half wall by Austin Galipo. Florkowski shipping it to center. Keegan Bartram. He's got Funk, but Funk is going to be offside with 14:38 left here in the third. And if Funk was able to not be offside, that could have been another potential goal for the Medicine Hat Cubs, no doubt about it.
Very close call there at the blue line, but just one extra stick handle by Bartram coming across that line as he shifted from his left to right. and Funk just unable to stay onside.
As Gabe LaRochelle tries to work it into Coaldale territory, but it's broken up by Clayton Tilleman. Tilleman fighting for control with Austin Gallipo, and Mayer goes in there, throws the body on Tilleman. Puck now at the half wall in Cubs territory. Behind the net of Cole Schaefer, Austin Gallipo going to ring it around the boards. It's going to go all the way down the ice, but the officials say not good enough for icing, as I believe a Coaldale Copperhead player was able to touch it. Holden Lamb with the puck, one-on-one, trying to dance in. Holden Lamb, a partial break, shoots, and Schaefer comes up with the save once again. Puck now at center, a 2-on-1. It's Keegan Bartram and Gabe LaRochelle. And LaRochelle fires, and Wyndham comes up with a dandy of a save. One of the best saves he's made all night long.
Anything you can do, I can do better. Cole Schaefer with the stop on one end for the Cubs, and right back on the other end, Daniel Wenham saying, I got you covered. I can do a lot better than that, and he makes a highlight reel save.
Some kind of save by Daniel Wenham. Puck now in Cubs territory. It's Colby Sadler looking to center ice for Gabe LaRochelle, but it's broken up by Androsov, throws it into Cubs territory. It's Kyle Grant, who's looked good here early, flips it over to Sean McGuire. McGuire looking for LaRochelle. It's thrown back in there by Van Varenberg. Schaefer comes out of his net to play it. Puck now at center, Young Pine. Had it broken up by Gabe LaRochelle, who is looking for McGuire, who's cross-checked to the ice. No call on the play, and Sean McGuire wondering what the officials were thinking there, as he wanted a penalty, I'm sure. The Coaldale Copperheads with the puck. Now Young Pine at the blue line, fires to the front, and it's going to be Van Varenberg fighting, swatting away at it. All kinds of pressure in front of Cole Schaefer, and I think the Cubs wanted a penalty as Schaefer was interfered with, but they're going to let him play here at the Kinplex as the Coaldale Copperheads pressing. They need the equalizer, down 4-3 with 12:30 left here in the third period. Puck now into Coaldale's zone as Piper sidesteps his man Stevenson, rings it around the boards for Ethan Hendricks, who goes to center. Ben Fury with the puck for the Medicine Hat Cubs, going to throw it into Coaldale's territory as Wenham comes out of his net to set it up for Piper. Piper going to throw it all the way down the ice and get a well-needed rest for his club, as the Cubs with all sorts of pressure here in the third.
Every time you don't think the pace could get any quicker, we got a couple of end-to-end rushes and all kinds of excitement. Tanner Mayer making just enough of a play a couple minutes ago just to force Holden Lamb to the outside and make that chance a little more difficult, but whale of a save by Daniel Wenham just after that.
As Blake Brett tried to ship it to center, it goes into Cubs territory, and the Cubs are able to corral the puck as Braden Weisgerber throws it to center, was looking for Kyler Goldade. Broken up by Brett there. The Cubs get a stick on it, and Whitbeck touches it, and otherwise if the Cubs would have touched it, we would have had a whistle, but we have a whistle now as Cole Schaefer is able to hang on, get a whistle with 11:48 left here in the third period. Still 4-3, no goals for either club in this frame. The Cubs want to get the one more to get some extra insurance, as we have a face-off to the left of Cole Schaefer. Whitbeck wins it back to the point. It's going to be McKenzie firing, goes wide on that, might have hit Schaefer out front, as Blake Brett shipped it behind the net of Cole Schaefer. Whitbeck now centering, but it was broken up by the Cubs as Alex Barthel fights for possession. Puck now to the top of the face-off circle, comes to center for Brandon Stahl, a 2-on-2. Brandon Stahl, he's got Kyle Florkowski. Florkowski shoots, and it goes wide on the net, as Wenham was there, though, to make the stop, fighting for possession. Now it's center is Austin Gallipo and Barthel. Gallipo finds Goldade. He cannot get a handle on it. Whitbeck shipping it all the way down the ice into Cubs territory as the Copperheads going to make a wholesale change as they get caught on the change a bit. It's Kyler Goldade. He's got Florkowski. Goldade dancing in, and the Coaldale Copperheads goaltender Wenham got a piece of it. Steered it into the corner just a bit as the Cubs still pressing here as they work the puck at their own blue line. Tanner Mayer going to take some time, throw it off the boards. It's broken up by Piper. Piper trying to dance into Cubs territory, but it is Lions shooting, sails wide of the net. The Cubs trying to clear the zone as the Copperheads with an okay scoring opportunity there with 10:29 left here in the third period. It's going to be the captain, Colby Murray, going to start things for his club. They need a goal to tie this hockey game back up as the Cubs lead 4-3, and they're going to do some icing here, and that will allow some fresh legs to get on the ice.
Oh, Tanner Mayer getting away with one there. He had the puck in his own end and just kind of lazily threw it up the ice to no one in particular, and next thing you know it, the Copperheads in, 3 men into the zone, and Brandon Piper with a good opportunity at the side of the net. You have to think if forward gets that chance that he's going to bury it and tie the game.
And it was Berthel dancing into the slot area as Bernhardt has the puck at the Coaldale Copperheads blue line. Mitch Heller does a good job of keeping it into Coaldale's territory as it is Androsov throwing it to center ice. Back into Cubs territory now. Grant fighting for possession with Clayton Tilleman. Granton and Tilleman fighting for control. Goes back behind the net of Cole Schaefer in the other corner. It's Colby Sadler. Got it up to Mitch Heller. Dished it off there. And the Coaldale Copperheads pressing as they were almost able to get a shot away. Puck now into Copperheads territory as Florkowski rang it around the boards. Puck in the corner as Mitch Heller fights for control, but it's going to be Androsov with the puck at center as he almost takes a hit by Florkowski, sidesteps him, and it's Braden Weisgerber. Going to go back to his defense partner, Cam Stock, back to Weisgerber. A little give and go. The puck now at center for Murray. Goes back to the point for Androsov. Puck now at center, and it's going to be Jay Hollingsworth trying to dance into Cubs territory. And he feeds Lyon, who shoots and goes wide of the net as it is going to be Cam Stock throwing it along the half wall for Kyle Funk. Funk dishes it to center for Bartram. Bartram goes cross ice to La Rochelle. Back to Bartram. He cannot get a handle on as Wenham made a save. And boy, oh boy, with that line dangerous once again here tonight, Ryan Flaherty.
Looks like we've seen a little bit of a juggle on that line as La Rochelle is up now playing with Funk and Bartram trying to spread the offense around. I think Florkowski trying to get a couple guys going on that second unit, and La Rochelle's been flying around, and maybe the coach is thinking if he plays with Funk and Bartram, he can capitalize on some of his chances.
As Piper sets up behind his own net, going to come out of his own zone. He flipped it up there to Hollingsworth. The Coaldale Copperheads cannot clear the zone. They turn it over, but they were able to get it back. Puck now at center. Tanner Mayer sweeps at it. Goes into Coaldale territory as it was La Rochelle taking a late hit, I believe, and he goes to the bench. He's going to be okay. A big, tough customer with 8 minutes left here in the third period as the Copperheads searching for the equalizer as they still trail this hockey game by a count of 4-3 as Austin Gallipo sets up shop behind the net of Cole Schaefer. Gallipo, he goes for Ben Fear at the half wall, couldn't get a handle on it, so it's back to Austin Gallipo, going to try it again. This time he connects with Sean McGuire, who almost turned it over, but Ben Fury shipped it deep into Coaldale territory, and it's Cole Stevenson fighting for possession, but he does not get a handle on it as the Coaldale Copperheads almost picking it up at the Cubs blue line. It's Cole Stevenson, though. Now at center, he's got Ben Fury. Ben Fury, top of the circle. He shoots and misses the net by a couple of feet with 7:15 left here in the third period. Sails around the half wall, kept in by Ben Fury. He swatted away at it, and the Copperheads cannot clear the zone. It's picked up, and it's going to be McGuire in the slot. He cannot pull the trigger. Goes back to the point for Grant. To McGuire. Goes cross ice for Fury, who is all alone in front, but he cannot tip her home. Ben Fury with a great scoring chance as Van Varenberg is working it now in Cubs territory. Behind the net of Cole Schaefer in the corner. Sadler with some great pressure on Van Varenberg, and Grant ties up his man. Sadler comes back to help him out. Ships it to the half wall. The Copperheads chip it into Cubs territory, but they're going to have to tag up, as the official said. That would have been offside with 6:30 left here in this third period as Whitbet picks it up into Cubs territory. He had Weisgerber all over him. Florkowski banks it off the glass into Coaldale territory. Youngpine with the puck, Keegan Youngpine, and it's going to be Blake Brett at the blue line. Brett, he dishes there for the captain, Murray, who flipped it behind the net of Cole Schaefer. The Coaldale Copperheads still looking for the equalizer as they are down 4-3 as Kyle Florkowski bangs it off the mesh as it got cut up behind the net of Cole Schaefer. Murray along the right half wall. Murray's going to walk up front. He shoots and Schaefer makes the save. The additional save and the poke check. And Cole Schaefer comes up big for his squad once again tonight. And it's the Copperheads, Blake Brett firing, but We are going to have a whistle going to be outside, and boy, oh boy, we've said it all night long. Cole Schaefer there to bail out his team once again.
Huge saves in a row by Cole Schaefer. First on the point shot and then on the rebound. And shot clock operator maybe a little slow on the draw there. I didn't see any shots go up on the board for that, but there was clearly 2 chances there for Schaefer, and he stood up for both of them.
As Mayer has the puck deep in Copperhead's territory, he loses it to Piper. Piper looking cross ice there for Alex Barthel as Gallipo chases after it, and it is no good for icing as Austin Gallipo comes out of his own zone. He feeds Kyle Funk. He goes to Florkowski. Florkowski looking cross ice, comes to Funk in the slot. He shoots, and Wenham gets a piece of it with the blocker, I do believe, as Kyle Funk pulled the trigger, searching for his second goal of the night.
That was actually the right toe. He got just enough of that, his right pad out, just to kick that puck to the right of the post.
As Piper tries to set things up behind his own net, he spins. It's broken up by Florkowski in the flood. Cody Florkowski walks in. He scores! Cody Florkowski! Call him Superman tonight! 4 goals. That's 5-3 Cubs.
Go figure. The one guy you don't want to give the puck away to in the middle of the prime scoring area. Of course, it would be Cody Florkowski. A little quieter here in the third period, but when it really matters, he comes through with his 4th tally of the game, and we've got ourselves a 2-goal advantage for the Cubs in the latter stages of the third period. What can you say about Cody Florkowski tonight? Just a superlative effort.
He scored 4 goals for the Medicine Hat Cubs, and he has kept himself very well maintained when it comes to not getting into any extracurricular activities as the Coaldale Copperheads find themselves in a hole now, a 2-goal hole with 4:30 left here in the third period. As Hollingsworth dances in, he centers. He was looking for a Lyon, but he cannot pull the trigger. Puck comes back to the point for Young Pine. And it goes to the other half wall for the pitching Androsov. Fighting for possession with him is Keegan Bartram. And a number of bodies in there now. It's Craig Lyon, goes back to the point for Young Pine. He fires, hits a body, goes behind the net of Cole Schaefer. Puck is rang around the boards. That's going to kill some time as the Cubs will make a wholesale change as Kyle Funk chases after it. Funk by himself. He finds La Rochelle in the slot. He shoots, and Wenham comes up with the save. And we will have a penalty. And we will see it will be Colby Murray heading to the sin bin. So not what the Coaldale Copperheads need, as they're down 2 goals in the late stages and they take a penalty.
And wouldn't you know it, the Medicine Hat Cubs' first power play of the game coming up right here. They've killed off a few. They've even scored a short-handed marker, and now they got a chance to salt this one away with a power play marker here. You got to figure if they score here, it's all but over.
That would be the final nail in the coffin, no doubt about it, as La Rochelle looking cross-ice there for Brandon Stahl, who's at the left side of the boards. Brandon Stahl, left side of the ice. He goes for Keegan Bartram. Back to Stahl, a little give and go. It's back to Bartram. Bartram wheeling behind the net of Wenham. He ships up to Florkowski to Funk. He fires! And it looks like Wenham got a piece of it as he challenged the shooter, and there was a couple bodies in front, so he had to track it down. That's Kyle Funk, the assistant captain, back here for the Medicine Hat Cubs, looking dangerous tonight with 1 goal. And the Cubs will turn it over at the neutral ice area. Goes down behind the net of Cole Schaefer, and he is going to set things up for Brandon Stahl. Stahl coming out of his own zone, feeds the captain, Cody Florkowski. Florkowski into Coaldale's zone. Florkowski to Funk. Could not pull the trigger as there was a Coaldale Copperhead stick on him. And it goes back into the Cubs territory at the blue line. Some pushing and shoving, and the referee going to give the Coaldale Copperheads a penalty as soon as they touch the puck. Had his hand in the air, so an unsportsmanlike minor. So the Cubs going to go to work on some 5-on-3.
Oh, I thought this was going to Cody Florkowski. He was giving a little face wash to Blake Brett there in the zone, giving a little what for, and I was certain he was getting the penalty, but it looks like Brett with the retaliation. You know what they say, they always catch the second guy, and Brett couldn't keep his composure, and now it's going to be very difficult for Coaldale to mount a comeback down 2 men for the next 52 seconds.
Yeah, and Cody Florkowski is scoring goals, drawing penalties. The only thing he hasn't done here tonight is play goalie, but I'm sure he could do that the way things are going tonight. And Stevenson fires. Wenham comes up with the save. Fury looking for it in front of the net of Wenham, but it's the Coaldale Copperheads throwing it all the way down the ice. Clayton Tilleman comes to center. Austin Gallipo with the puck as a Cubs player. Kyle Grant was kind of hauled down on the play, I believe, but it appears it is going to be the Cubs going to be going to the penalty box. So Ryan, the ice really going to be opening up as we will see some 4-on-3 action for the first time, I believe, this night.
You got it. 4-on-3 hockey. Braden Kyle Grant going to the box for interference as he got tangled up in the neutral zone with the Copperheads player. So an opportunity here for Coaldale. Be interesting to see once the first penalty to Murray is over if we're going to see an empty net. But first they need to kill off 31 seconds and get back to a 4-on-4.
As Craig Lyon loses the draw, Schaefer makes a bad save, steers it in the corner. Keegan Bartram searching for the puck along the half wall. And it's the Copperheads coming away with it, the pinching Brandon Piper. Piper was centering and hit a body in front. Craig Lyon shoots, sails wide of the net. He was all alone in the slot.
I actually think Schaefer got a piece of that, Braden, as he made a great save as the player was right out in front. As
Florkowski catches the Copperheads pinching, it's Funk dancing in, and the net comes off as Kyle Funk and Gabe LaRochelle and Cody Florkowski were all alone as the net comes off. Florkowski dumped behind the play. And boy, oh boy, Florkowski potentially could have his fifth of the night.
Great play by Daniel Wenham with the poke check to break up the play there as desperation time for the Copperheads netminder. He knows that another goal will seal the deal here for Medicine Hat and got very lucky there as he stuck the stick out there and managed to poke the puck away and just in time.
So some 4-on-4 action for a minute or less. 1:48 left here in the third period. The Medicine Hat Cubs with a 2-goal lead. You know they want to head out of here with the 2 points tonight as they were riding a 2-game losing skid coming into this one. As it is Sean McGuire fighting for control into Copperheads territory. Goes back to the point for Austin Gallipo. Gallipo going to go cross ice for Kyle Funk. Chips it for Cody Florkowski. Centering, but it was McGuire who was not able to convert. As the puck works its way all the way down into Cubs territory with 1:15 left here in the third period. The Cubs leading this game by 2 goals as Tanner Mayer fires, and it is going to be Wenham hanging on in the late stages of this game. Still some 4-on-4 for 18 seconds or less, and we will have a face-off to the left of goaltender Daniel Wenham. So the Cubs hoping to skate away with 2 points, but this is junior hockey and anything can happen. The Coaldale Copperheads trying to make a late change and the referee saying absolutely not.
Little shenanigans, I think they're from the Copperheads on the line change, trying to sneak a guy out late, and the referee having none of it as he sends the Coaldale player back to the bench.
Jay Hollingsworth, a partial breakaway, walks in, and Schaefer shuts the door as Jay Hollingsworth with a great scoring opportunity, but it was Cole Schaefer sealing the pads together, and he gets the better of Hollingsworth.
Well, you said it, Braden. It ain't over till it's over. And now it looks like we're going to have a Coaldale timeout. I can only imagine they're going to draw something up here with 10 seconds left to kill. They will be going on the power play for a brief 20 seconds, and you have to figure they're going to get the goalie out of the net if they can, get Wenham onto the bench and look for that 2-man advantage.
Yes, and it looks like Daniel Wenham has already made his way to the bench. So in a few moments' time, the Coaldale Copperheads, they will have 6 men on the ice. The Medicine Hat Cubs with 4, a lot of players and a lot of free open space as the Cubs will still have the penalty to Kyle Grant as Cody Florkowski chats it up with the referee, probably telling him he did a good job. I don't believe Cody Florkowski has taken a penalty here tonight. So that's kind of rare for Cody, as I know he takes a lot of penalties, but he told me he's working on removing the penalties from his game. Certainly turned things around from last year. A face-off to the left of Cole Schaefer with just 57.9 seconds left. Puck goes to the neutral ice area, and it is Brendan Androsov going to start things off for the Coaldale Copperheads. He fed Alex Barthel, the Copperhead player, is back on the ice as they have the goaltender pulled. Some people calling for too many men, but the goaltender Wenham is on the bench for sure. So the Copperheads pressing here in the late stages. It's Lyons shooting, and it hits a post, I believe. A crowd ensues, and now we got some pushing and shoving behind the net of Cole Schaefer. The officials in there trying to break things up and control this hockey game, as the Cubs do not want to take any suspensions here in the late stages of this hockey game. They're leading 5-3. And the Coaldale Copperheads pressing here late.
We have had more action, I think, in the last 5 minutes of this third period, Braden, than we've had almost all night, if you can believe that. As eventful as the first 40 minutes of this game were, these last 5 have just been incredible. All kinds of action all over the ice, and we've got ourselves a penalty after that scrum, after the whistle, as Coaldale's captain, Colby Murray, not acting very captain-like, or as he will head to the box, and that's going to put the end to the empty net situation as the face-off will come back in the Coaldale end, and Daniel Wenham will come back in the net. So all but over now for the Coaldale Copperheads.
Yes, 25.2 seconds left here in the third period. Face-off to the right of Wenham. Dorian Barnhart loses the draw. It's Houston Boschy. Boschy trying to clear the zone, but it's kept in at the point. The Cubs now working on the power play, and that will essentially do it. 13 seconds left as Schaefer chips it to center. The Cubs just going to skate around with it in their own zone and kill the time off the clock as Braden Weisgerber has it now in the corner. And that is going to do it here tonight at the Kinplex. The Medicine Hat Cubs back to 500, improving to 9-9-1 on the campaign, as they snap the 2-game losing skid. And the story of this game here tonight, Ryan Flaherty, was the play of Cody Florkowski with 4 goals.
Absolutely surprising. Nobody in the building as named as the player of the game tonight. 4 goals for Cody Florkowski, as you mentioned. He was all over the ice, creating all kinds of scoring chances, as well as his line mates. Kyle Funk back after suspension. He had a goal and an assist. And Keegan Bartram as well with a very strong game. He had 3 points on the night. And just a strong all-around effort from that top line. And Cole Schaefer playing very strong in net as well when needed.
Yes, absolutely. As the Coaldale Copperheads made Cole Schaefer's night very tough, but boy, he was equal to the task. So many big saves. We saw it in the late stages. Jay Hollingsworth with a partial break, but Cole Schaefer able to squeeze the pads as the Coaldale Copperheads were really pressing at that point, trying to get themselves back into this hockey game.
Cole Schaefer making some key saves at key times. Helped out a lot on the back end. I thought Tanner Mayer had a strong game on the blue line for Medicine Hat. He stood out to me. He made a few really good one-on-one plays in tight, preventing the Coaldale players from getting really good scoring chances. And when they did get those scoring chances, Cole Schaefer was there more often than not. They did score 3 goals, but he definitely kept them competitive in this game early on when things were a little slow, and then held the fort when they got the lead.
Yes, and at the other end of the ice, Daniel Wenham, he was great for the Coaldale Copperheads. You can't really fault him on a lot of those goals as he made the first save, but the Cubs were just so great tonight in his kitchen, finding the rebound all the time.
Well, Cody Florkowski, 2 of his goals were just, no doubters up to the top shelf. Another one, a bad giveaway in the slot. So, yeah, you're right. You can't blame Wenham too much on any of those. He played as well as could be expected, made a few real highlight reel saves to keep Coaldale within reach in the third period, but they just couldn't do it as Medicine Hat now with their second win over Coaldale this season, and that's something very important for them, of course, because they're chasing Coaldale in the standings, and with this win, that draws them within just 1 point of Coaldale in the HJHL South.
Yes, absolutely, and Ryan Flaherty, of course, the Medicine Hat Cubs, they're going to get right back to work tomorrow, I believe, in Three Hills, when they meet up with the Thrashers, and always a good meeting when those two clubs will meet up. And their next game after that, it will be Friday, December 20th. So the Cubs going to get about 13 days off before they welcome the High River Flyers to town. And the next night, they will host the Airdrie Thunder, and then the Cubs off for the Christmas break. But they don't waste any time getting back to work on Friday, December 27th. They will head to High River to take on the Flyers, and just a great game here tonight at the Kinplex. I was really impressed with the Medicine Hat Cubs' discipline. A lot of times this season we've seen it. They've ran into some penalty troubles, but the guy who is the captain on this squad, he was definitely a leader, was Cody Florkowski, and for himself, and I don't think he took a single penalty, and really sending a message to the rest of the team that you got to stay out of the box to be successful in this league.
And Cody Florkowski, he talked about that leading up to this game. He had to set an example. This is a young team they've got, and he's looked to be a leader. He is the captain of the team. But yes, you're right. Coming into tonight, he was number 2 on the squad in penalty minutes with 68. But staying out of the box today, and that's a big thing for him. He's had some issues with that, but he was still his pesky self. He was scoring goals, but he was also riling up the Copperheads players, but doing it without staying, without going over the edge, basically.
Yes, for sure. And Ryan, time to run down the scoring summary in this hockey game.
Alrighty, and it was a busy one for sure. And we'll start off in the first period. Medicine Hat had the balance of play for the first few minutes of the game, but it was Coaldale getting on the board first as Craig Lyons scored his 14th of the season with an assist by Captain Colby Murray. But not too long after that, Cody Florkowski started the Florkowski show with his first game of the night, or rather his first goal of the night, his 10th on the season, assisted by Kyle Funk back from his suspension, and Keegan Bartram. After that, it was Kyle Funk giving the Medicine Hat Cubs the lead with his 8th goal of the season, assisted by Keegan Bartram, so giving Bartram and Funk 2 points in that first period. After the first period, 12 shots aside, and moving into the second period, Coaldale getting back even with Medicine Hat as Houston Boschy scored his 4th goal. That was on the power play, assisted by Craig Lyon and Holden Lamb. But and then Coaldale, for a brief moment, they had the lead again, their second lead of the night, as Alex Barthel scored his 8th goal of the year. Holden Lamb picking up his second helper on the night, as well as Clayton Tillman with an apple on that goal. But not too long after that, Medicine Hat coming right back to tie things up once again. The third even keel score of the game, tying at 3-3, as of course Cody Florkowski scoring his second goal of the night, assisted by Sean McGuire and Austin Gallipo. That's Florkowski's 11th on the season. And then to cap off the second period with his brother Kyle in the box for charging Cody Florkowski his 12th of the year, the hat-trick goal, shorthanded, assisted by Keegan Bartram, his 3rd point of the night. Shots in that second period, 9 for the Cubs, 12 for the Copperheads, a total of 24-21 for Coaldale through 40 minutes. Moving into the third period, not a lot of shots, but plenty of action, and it wasn't until late in the frame that Cody Florkowski salted things away with his 13th marker of the year, his 4th on the night, an unassisted goal after a bad giveaway in the Coaldale zone. He gave Medicine Hat a 5-3 lead, and that is a lead they would not relinquish. Shots in the third period a little lower, 5 for Medicine Hat, 6 for Coaldale, a total for the game 30-26 for Coaldale, but it was Medicine Hat coming out on top on this night.
Yes, of course, 5-3 the final, and thank you very much, Ryan, and we will be hearing from the Cubs locker room in a few moments' time as who else but Cody Florkowski going to join us in the booth? Who else would we interview after that one?
I can't think of a better guest, absolutely. And the guy, he set the example. He said he was going to try to be a little more disciplined, and not only did he do that, but he basically outscored the entire Coaldale team tonight. So good for him, and we'll hear from him in just a few minutes.
Yes, as we take a look around the world of hockey, we start things off in the Western Hockey League. It was the Regina Pats beating the Moose Jaw Warriors in a shootout 5-4. The Swift Current Broncos beating the Brandon Wheat Kings 4-3, a final out there in the Wheat City. The Edmonton Oil Kings winning in a shootout 5-4. The Lethbridge Hurricanes knocking off the Prince Albert Raiders 3-1. The Kootenay Ice snuffing the Kamloops Blazers 7-3. The Tri-City Americans, that game just finishing up in Prince George, they beat the Cougars 4-3. The Cougars with some real struggles here, as we've seen it over the past few years in the Western Hockey League. The Kelowna Rockets declawing the Everett Silvertips 3-1. It was the Seattle Thunderbirds beating the Spokane Chiefs 7-3. Seattle looking very dangerous this season, and the Victoria Royals doubling up the Vancouver Giants 4-2. So all those games finals tonight in the dub as we go to the AJHL. It took a shootout, but the Fort McMurray Oil Barons beating the Calgary Canucks 3-2. Out in Brooks, it was the Bandits losing in overtime, a close one, 3-2 to the Okotoks Oilers. I know my friend Gino DePaoli, the voice of the Oilers, is going to be pretty happy about that. The Camrose Kodiaks knocking off the Calgary Mustangs 5-1. The Canmore Eagles beating the Olds Grizzlies 4-1. And it was a barn burner in Lloydminster as the Bobcats beat the Drayton Valley Thunder by a count of 1-0 in overtime. So, a hard-fought battle there in the border city as we are joined now in the broadcast booth by the captain of the Medicine Hat Cubs, Cody Florkowski, who had a huge night with 4 goals. And, Cody, it must feel pretty good to score 4 in one game.
Absolutely. Any given night when you're gifted like that, I mean, the chances were just there. And I was the lucky guy to put them in, but against Coaldale, that feels real good.
And you guys able to snap that mini 2-game losing streak. I guess how nice was it to bounce back after a couple tough games?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we knew what Coaldale was bringing in all week. We practiced it in practice. We got back to the simple things, and we got back to what we did at the beginning of the year when we were successful.
And it appeared here from our vantage point in the broadcast booth here tonight at the Kinplex, you guys were very disciplined. You didn't kind of get goaded into any of Coaldale's games after the whistle.
No, yeah, I mean, it was a pretty disciplined game all the way around. They didn't take too many penalties either, but we just beat them 5-on-5 is what we really did tonight.
And how key was it to have guys like Kyle Funk, drawing back into the lineup, Gabe LaRochelle, guys like that?
It's great, anytime you can get those guys off the injured boards or when Funky can make it here, it's a huge help, and it gives me some secondary scoring, which is really nice, but they did a great job again tonight too.
And just talk about your line tonight. I guess what made you so successful?
We just kept it simple. I mean, our coach sat us down before the game and told us to keep it simple, go back to the way we were playing, and we tried it, and it worked again tonight.
All right, and Cody, congrats on the win. Now you guys will get set for a game in Three Hills tomorrow. I guess, what do you remember about that hockey club?
They're just a scrappy team. I mean, not overly skilled, but they've just got 23 bodies who will crash and bang all over the ice, and they claw their way. But if we play our game like we did tonight, I don't think we should have a problem.
Okay, and one final question here tonight. Just talk about the play of your goaltender, Cole Schaefer. Came up huge on a number of opportunities here again this evening.
Lights out. I mean, Schaefer is a huge part of this team, and he knows that every time he steps in the blue, and he stopped the door again on many chances tonight, kept us in the game, and gave us a chance to win.
All right, thank you, Cody, for joining me here tonight in the
you.
broadcast booth, and good luck tomorrow out in Three Hills.
Perfect, thanks.
Thanks a lot, Cody, for stepping in as Ryan Flaherty will step back into the broadcast booth here tonight to wrap things up. In the meantime, when we get that all set up, we'll just take a look around the NHL as the Vancouver Canucks and Phoenix Coyotes all knotted up at 2 apiece in the third. That's the only game going on at the moment. The rest of the game's finals. And Ryan, your final closing thoughts here tonight as the Cubs skate away with the big 5-3 victory. It was really a great bounce-back game for them.
Absolutely. Head coach Jason Bartram has to be happy with the effort from his club tonight. I mean, they gave up 8 goals in their last game to Cochrane. Definitely going to leave a sour taste in the mouth. You could tell they were playing with a lot of spark, a lot of jump, and they were very focused on the goal tonight, which was to stay out of the box. They did take a few penalties here and there, but nothing in the ticky-tacky department, just a few calls. That's going to happen in the course of a game, and then they just buried their chances. A huge shorthanded marker from Cody Florkowski that actually proved to be the game winner late in the second period. And, I mean, what can you say about him? I mean, he's had a stellar game. His whole line had a great game.
Yes, absolutely. He was the story of this contest, no question about it. The Cubs avoid being snake-bitten by the Coaldale Copperheads here tonight. They skate away, the Medicine Hat Cubs, with the 5-3 win. They'll get right back to work tomorrow night in Three Hills, where they will be looking for their second straight win. For Ryan Flaherty and the rest of the broadcast booth team here in Medicine Hat, I'm Brady Mulsbury saying good night from the Gas City.
Right on, man. That was fun. That was a hell of a lot of fun.